Oh, thank you. Thank Clint. I'm sorry. Is that probably 5 years old, 5 or 6.
Check one, check two, check. Check one, check two, check one, check two. It's a brisk evening in Orem as we get ready for Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. I'm Jordan Bianucci alongside my partner Ryan Pickens, and it is a pleasure to bring you some UVU Wolverine baseball this evening. They will take on Chicago State in Game 2 of this 3-game set, as we're just preparing for the performance of the national anthem. And Ryan, the Wolverines, just quickly, they took care of business last night to get this series going.
You know, just a really all-around complete win for Utah Valley. I mean, they hit the ball. You know, Danny Bettis pitched very well last night. Maybe arguably his best outing of the year right now, probably for sure, maybe to keep myself safe, his probably best 2 outings the last couple of outings for him. And as typically a Friday night starter in college baseball, that's going to be really key coming up in this week with Sacramento State, Grand Canyon coming up. I know something James and I talked a little bit about. This is an important stretch for Utah Valley, but most importantly, we know this team can pitch. But I think the big question mark was, can they consistently hit? 16 runs last night. What can they do tonight? Different pitcher for Chicago State. You bet Chicago State after that performance last night probably maybe feels a little embarrassed. They're going to come back, and they're going to be ready to go tonight.
They are. So the Wolverines will take the field here, and we will pause for the Star-Spangled Banner. Tonight, the Star-Spangled Banner will be performed by Lakeview Academy. And as always, the Star-Spangled Banner, the national anthem, is brought to you by Pepsi fans. Grab a nice cold Pepsi before each Wolverine ball game.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the performing of the national anthem. The national anthem will be performed by Lakeview Academy Choir.
And with that, we are just about ready to play ball. But before we do that, I'll send it over to Ryan Pickens for the starting lineups.
Tonight's starting lineups for Game 2 of this 3-game weekend series with the visiting Chicago State Cougars. The lineup announced by their head coach, Steve Jocelyn, in his 3rd season. Leading off in center field will be Jared Patterson. Madden Lee Romanen hits in the 2 spot. He'll be at second tonight. Chase Matheson in left field hits 3rd. Andy Gertensen, the 3rd baseman, hits cleanup. Sanford Hunt at DH hits 5th. Matt Schmidt, the 1st baseman, hits in the 6th spot. Chris Hipchin in right field hits 7th. Cody Friend behind home plate hits 8th. And Quentin Alexander rounds out the order and bats 9th. Pitching tonight for Chicago State, right-hander Eric Hall on the mound. Defensively for Utah Valley, Cade Andrus is in left, Seth Ryaneer in center, Mark Kruger over in right field. On the infield, it'll be Jordan Schlehuber at 3rd, Grayson Bogdan at short, Zach Fuller over at 2nd, Spencer Gothberg manning first base tonight, and the battery, it's going to be a pair of freshmen, Jake Atkinson behind home plate, and on the hill for Utah Valley, making his 8th start of the season, is the left-hander from Henderson, Nevada, Jackson Kofer, coming in 0-4 with a 3.12 ERA, his 8th start of the year, 34 2/3 innings, 40 hits, 18 runs, 12 of which have been earned. He's walked 20 and struck out 22, and opponents are hitting 308 off him. But Jordan, he's been consistent. Unfortunately, that 0-4 record I don't think quite shows exactly how well he's had to pitch.
No, but we'll get another chance to see him tonight. The lefty on the hill and has a couple more warm-ups in him. Well, one more, and we're just about underway. So I think just, and first of all, I'd like to say I listened to a portion of the game last night. I was on assignment, but well done, you and James. Very semi-professional.
Well, I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or not, but Jordan, I will say we missed you in the booth last night. We're glad to have you back, and we're hoping for an exciting game tonight.
Oh, sounded good. I appreciate it. So here is Patterson to lead things off, hitting from the right side, bent at the knees. From the windup, Kofer throws. First pitch fastball misses high and away. First pitch, 6:01 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Game time temperature brought to you by weather.com. It is 52 degrees and sunny. 1-0 on the way. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and it's 1-1 to Patterson, hitting .295 on the season. The umpires tonight, Mike Whitty calling balls and strikes, Kellen Levy at first base, and Frank Flugart down the third base line. From the windup, the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball that falls right in there for a called strike, and it's 1-2. Kofer, we've only seen 3 pitches, but working quickly, efficiently, and hitting his spots right now. Just underway here in Orem. No score. 1-2 pitch is down in the dirt, and the count's even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. In center field, Rainier playing a hair to the right. The breeze, we're looking at the flag in right center field, a swirling breeze kind of dying down now on this cool evening. We talk about this before every night game here, but right now the batter's box and home plate in the shadows, the pitcher's mound in the sun as a fastball misses up high and the count is full. So a tough time for the hitters to see the baseball right now.
Yeah, that baseball is coming out of daylight and into the shadows, and you would think, well, what's that really have to do with hitting? You're seeing a ball with light on it going into the darkness, and much less when that shade comes in, it's right before it hits home plate. So you have to see the pitch early.
3-2 fastball missed high and away there, not close. So Patterson is on with a leadoff walk, and that is just what the Cougars needed. Of course, last night UVU took care of business, winning 16-3. They called it after 7 with the 10-run 7th inning rule in WAC play. Patterson with his lead at first, short lead, held on by Kruger. Here's Mattingly Romanin at the plate. The pitch just off the plate outside. It's 1-0. Romanin, a right-handed hitter, comes into the ballgame batting .258. 1 home run, 15 runs batted in this season. At first base, with a short lead as Patterson, he's 5 for 7 in stolen base attempts. As Kofer, the lefty, throws over there, back in standing, is Patterson.
That's a quick move that Jackson Kofer throws over there. I'd be very careful if I'm Jared Patterson, or make sure I slide. He didn't slide that time, and a split second earlier, and Kofer gets it.
1-0 pitch swung on down left field line. It's a base hit. It's going to be fair just past the third base bag. Heading for third is Patterson. They're going to hold him up there. Heading into second with a stand-up double is Romanin, and the Cougars have something cooking here in the first. That ball was crushed, bounced right by the third base bag. Schlehuber had no chance at it, and there are 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out for Chase Matheson.
And right there, I mean, this is just the kind of start you would kind of expect from Chicago State after, last night they didn't have a lot of things that go their way, and they're going to come out swinging the bats, and they don't want to lose again, much less they don't want to lose, by this 16-3 total or another lopsided total tonight.
Here's Matheson, who was 1 for 3 last night. Nobody out. Runners on second and third for Chicago State. Breaking ball misses outside, and falling behind 1-0 is Kofer. And we talk about this ad nauseum at times, but again, talking to Dave Carter, the pitching coach, it's about staying out of those big innings. Right now, 2 runners on, nobody out. I think the Wolverines would settle for 1 run. That would be all right. That one swung on, chopped to shortstop. That's going to score 1 run. Going to go to third. They got him. A nice play by Grayson Bogdan to get the runner going from second and third, and not a real smart play there, base running wise, from Mattingly Romanin. That ball was hit just to the right of him. It was hit in front of him, so conventional wisdom says stay at second base, but he tried to make it to third. An easy play for Bogdan over to Schlehuber, a 6-5 put out. A tag was made, 1 away. reaching at first, Matheson on the fielder's choice.
Just typically one of those things to the right side, easily moves up there, but you got to just be aware of where that ball's hit, and right there they were able to cut him down at third.
So here's Gertensen hitting cleanup for the Cougars. 1-0. Picking up an RBI on the play was Matheson. Chicago State leads, top of the first inning. Wide open stance from the right side. Gertensen waiting. The pitch. Fastball, high and away. 1 ball, no strike to him. A big out there as it erases a runner who was in scoring position. And now with the infield playing back, Kofor would love a ground ball, a double play ball. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball misses in, and it's 2-0.
I love the visit out here by Jake Atkinson. Just go out, Kofor having a little bit of a hard time getting the strike zone, and it's got to shake a pitcher up when you're 0-4 and you haven't gotten on the positive side of a victory yet this year. And then the first inning they get a hit on you, you walk a guy. You kind of get that slow start. Always good to go out there and say, hey, let's just play catch and go back to doing the basics. Baseball is a very kind of fundamental game. And if you can do the fundamentals, you can have a lot of success. A lot of times it's not about doing the big things all the time.
2-0 pitch. We'll see if he's swinging away here. He does, and it's chopper third base side. Foul ball as it took a hop right past Schlehuber down the left field line, but well foul. And the count is 2-1. Sanford Hunt waits on deck, the designated hitter. A cool evening here in Orem for baseball. Though the sun is shining, not a cloud in the sky. Game 2 of this 3-game set. 1 on, 1 out, still in the top of the first here. Chicago State already has a run in. 2 ball, 1 strike. The pitch. Throw over to first base, back in diving is Matheson. Matheson on the season is 3 for 3 in stolen base attempts. Doesn't have a big lead over there. Although with 1 out and a runner on first, this is definitely a situation in which you could put on the hit and run. The 2-1 pitch. There's a fastball poured right in there, and that's called a ball. That may have missed a hair above the belt. I don't know where. I'll be honest, I don't know where that one missed. That's a tough call. So Kofor behind, 3-1. Man. Kruger holding on the runner at first. He takes off. The pitch down, and that is ball 4 in the dirt. A nice stop by Atkinson. Now runners on first and second, and here comes Dave Carter. He will mosey on out to the mound, clap his hands, and try and get Kofor back on track here.
Yeah, let's talk about, just kind of a slow start for Jackson Kofor. He has to just find a way to settle in, and right there, Chicago State last night showed the ability to try to steal bases. They're willing to take that chance. They're willing to run in pretty much all counts. They ran 3-1 there. They did it a couple of times last night. So they're going to be willing to try to test Jake Atkinson behind home plate, but he's got to be able to, make the block. He's got to be able to do his basic things behind home plate. It's something that, last night a couple of times both teams, the catchers kind of had a hard time with the ball, and that allows sometimes for an extra 90 feet.
So Kofor still in his stretch. Runners on first and second. 1-0. Chicago State leads in the top of the first inning. A man out, 2 men on. Kofor peers in, has the sign. He will throw to Hunt. Fastball right there, called for a strike. And that's what you want to see after a visit to the mound. Jackson Kofor, the freshman out of Henderson, Nevada. Part of the Las Vegas metropolitan area, trying to get out of a jam here. He checks the runner at second. The pitch. Breaking ball swung on, hit to the left side. The diving Schlehuber can't get it. It caroms off his glove into shallow left center field. 1 run will score. They will hold Gertensen at third base, and it's 2-0 Chicago State. So a chopper to the left of the third baseman, Jordan Schlehuber, and he just couldn't quite get to it. And not a hard hit ball, just an unlucky bounce there for Jackson Kofor.
It's just hitting a spot where it's either Schlehuber takes it or you wait for Bogdan to backhand it, and you kind of tell Schlehuber kind of to stick that arm way out there. Have to kind of wonder maybe if he lets Bogdan get that, if that ball stays on the infield. But that's kind of playing the what-if game, that doesn't really matter. It looks like they are going to give that a base hit for Sanford Hunt.
So runners on the corners, 2-0 Cougars. And here's the left-handed hitting Schmidt. First pitch to him, fastball up and in. So Gertensen at third base, Hunt at first. Matheson came in to score, so they did give Hunt the hit, so he picks up an RBI. 2-0, Chicago State. Now a throw to first base in the dirt. A nice job by Gothberg over there to dig it out. I believe I was saying Kruger was playing first base. I apologize. Mark Kruger, of course, in right field tonight. Spencer Gothberg, the man at first base.
You got the right side of the field down, you know.
Hey, we're working it out. Matt Schmidt, still waiting. Throw to first base again. Back and diving safely. 1 ball, no strike the count to Schmidt. Starting first baseman for Chicago State. Chicago State, or at least UVU, a little worried about the steal from first, throw down to second. That runner at third could take off. Another throw to first base. Back and diving once again safely is Hunt. Hunt this season has not stolen a bag. He's not even attempted to steal a bag. The left-handed hitting Schmidt at the plate. Standing straight up, slightly open stance. The pitch, that one swung on, ground ball, base hit into right field. To the left of Fuller at second, 1 run will come in to score. The runners will advance 1 base, and it's 3-0 Chicago State as the Wolverines get some activity going in the bullpen.
That's just a solid base hit there. Nobody's going to get to that. Just put right in the hole. And, you know, it's interesting. 24 hours later, we kind of have the opposite of the way the first inning last night went. And this is a big spot for Jackson Kofor to try to see if he can't. He's a ground ball away from getting out of this inning. And that's been the difficult thing, is getting that 1 ground ball hit to somebody that can make a play on it.
So here's Hipchin. Pitch to him. Fastball called on the outside corner. And that one, maybe a bit of a generous call there from the home plate umpire. Whitty looked to be a little bit off the plate, but strike 1. The only hard hit ball in this inning was the base hit down the third base line off the bat of Romanin as time is taken at home plate. Everything else has been softly hit but perfectly placed. Hipchen at first, Schmidt at second. I say Hipchen, Schmidt at first, I beg your pardon, Hunt at second. That ball gets away as a foul tip at the plate, but count now 0-2.
Looks like the right-hander Caden Schmidt for Utah Valley getting loose down in the bullpen.
Chris Hipchen hitting 179 this season. And he's fallen behind 0-2. Like you said, Ryan, a ground ball would get the Wolverines out of this inning. Schlehuber hugging the line at third. The pitch, 0-2, missed off the plate. A good 0-2 there. Atkinson was setting up well outside. But being patient, not chasing it, was Hipchen. Cody Friend waits on deck. Hipchen, the 7th man to bat in this top of the first. 3-0 Cougars. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and chopped foul near the UVU dugout on the third base side. The count remains at 1-2. 3 runs on 3 hits in this first inning. One ball, 2 strikes. Jackson Kofor really taking his time now. Now comes set, belt high, checks the runner at second, pickoff play. He holds on to it as Fuller sprinted to the bag from second base, but no play there. Back diving was Hunt. Gothberg playing behind the runner Schmidt at first base. Now another play at second. Bluffing was Fuller. Heads back. He's just playing a hair to the right at second base. The pitch, that one misses down low, and it's 2-2. A big hole on that right side of the infield should the right-handed hitter Hipchen be able to go away with a pitch. The outfield playing fairly shallow. The pitch, now a throw back to second, diving in safely ahead of the throw is Hunt.
You know, and I see, I mean, I get the idea behind throwing to the bases, and I can see trying to keep the runners close, but you also have to kind of wonder if Jackson Kofer's thrown over so much, is he more concerned about the base runner stealing a base than he is focusing in on throwing strikes?
2-2 pitch. Curveball misses up high, and the count is full. I'll give him this. Hunt at second base does have a very big lead over there. So, once again, the count runs full to a Cougar hitter here in the top of the first inning. They lead the Wolverines 3-0. Kofer comes set. Checks the runners. Now comes home. Fastball swung on and foul tipped at the plate, and we'll do it again. It's easy to say, but a big at bat here early in this ball game. The Wolverines already down 3-0. Anything past that, certainly not insurmountable, but you do not want to give up 4 or 5 runs in this first inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 2 men on, 1 man out. The pitch, fastball, high and away, not close, and the bases are loaded. So the third walk of the inning by Jackson Kofer, and the bases are loaded for Cody Friend. And that's going to do it. So the freshman has a tough outing tonight, can't get through the first. He goes a third of an inning, gives up 3 runs. So, new pitcher coming on for the Wolverines. He will inherit 3 base runners. The Wolverines trail 3-0. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Back here on WolverineGreen.com, the Wolverines in a little bit of trouble here in the bottom of the first. 3 runs in for the Cougars, and the bases are loaded for the new pitcher. It's going to be number 22, Caden Schmidt. Schmidt making his 3rd appearance on the year. 8 1/3 innings so far, 6.48 ERA, allowed 15 hits, 6 runs, all of which have been earned, 3 walks and 2 strikeouts, and opponents are hitting .405 off of him. And Jordan, you know, we saw a pitcher last night for Chicago State have to come in this situation. Not an easy position to come right into the game. Bases loaded, you know, 1 out. And yet you're 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. But also, the flip side of that, you're 1 pitch away from this game being blown wide open in the first.
Absolutely. I'm sure Caden Schmidt was not expecting to come in this early tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's number 23, Jake Mayer.
We read, oh, well.
So that was, I just looked out there and I saw that's 23. So that's Jake Mayer making his 3rd appearance of the year, 5 innings so far in the WAC. In WAC games, he's pitched 5 innings. So
Right-hander working from the stretch, facing the lefty, Cody Friend. First pitch, fastball misses down low, 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, Caden Schmidt, number 22, did not come into the ballgame. 23. We both wear prescription glasses. We need to get those checked.
Yeah, we might want to.
Swung on ground, chopper to second. This should only be 1. Gothberg has it, throws over to the pitcher. Mayer covering. He gets to the bag in time, but another run comes in to score for the Cougars. It's 4-0. The Wolverines will definitely take that, though. 2 outs in the inning. Advancing to second base was Hipchen. Schmidt to third. In to score was Hunt.
So let's check out the stats on Jake Mayer. Mayer's 1-3 on the year, making his 9th appearance, 19 1/3 innings, 6.52 ERA. He's given up 19 hits, 14 runs, all of which have been earned, 14 walks, and 12 strikeouts on the year. Opponent's hitting 271. I looked at that stat line. I'm like, well, I know he pitched at least 5 innings against BYU when the Cougars came here earlier in the month. So I was like, this doesn't seem right. And I looked, and we were given just the total cumulative stats and also given whack-only stats. And I was reading the whack-only stats.
Here's the pitch. First pitch is a breaking ball, catches the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike to Quentin Alexander, the 9th man to hit in this inning. Hipchin at second, Schmidt at third base. 4-0, Chicago State in the top of the first inning. Working from the stretch, now stepping off the rubber is Mayer.
Mayer's done a pretty good job coming in. He's had to come in this time, in this kind of situation a couple of times this year. He's done pretty well. He'll give up hits here and there, but he's not going to, I don't think, allow a huge inning.
0-1. Looked like a cutter or a slider, missed away, and it's 1-1. Alexander comes into the ballgame batting .300. 4 RBIs, no home runs for him, the right-handed hitter. Everybody straight away for the Wolverines. The 1-1. Swung on, ground ball to short. Bogdan plays a tough hop rather, throws to first for the out, and the inning is over. So the Wolverines got into some trouble. They give up 4 runs. However, Jake Mayer comes in, and 2 Cougars are left stranded on base. We head to the bottom of the first inning. Cougars 4, the Wolverines coming up.
Bottom half of the first inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and the Wolverines coming up looking to try to cut into that 4-0 deficit they face here. The good news is plenty of time to do that. And the lineup tonight announced by head coach Eric Madsen. Leading off in left field, Cade Andrus. Mark Kruger and right field hits in the 2 spot. Jake Atkinson will hit third. Spencer Gothberg hits cleanup. Cody Moon tonight gets the start at DH hitting 5th. Grayson Bogdan 6th. Seth Rainier will hit in the 7th spot. Jordan Schlehuber hits 8th. Zach Fuller rounds out the order batting 9th. Defensively here for Chicago State, it's going to be Matheson in left, Patterson in center, Hipchin over in right field. On the infield, Andy Gertensen at third, Quentin Alexander at short, Mattingly Romanin over at second, Matt Schmidt at first. Behind home plate, it's going to be Cody Friend. And on the hill tonight for Chicago State, it's going to be number 24, Eric Hall, making his 7th start of the season, making his 9th overall appearance, a 5.54 ERA, 2-3 record, and now Jordan, he's got pitcher's best friend going out there with plenty of run support here as he'll get ready to face Cade Andrus.
Yeah, you can't ask for much more if you're Eric Hall. Here is Andrus, the right-handed hitter. First pitch, slider in there for a strike, right on the outside corner. Good pitch, 0-1. Andrus hitting .284 in the season, 17 runs batted in, 2 home runs, and those home runs were not cheap ones. There was one here at Brent Brown. There's a ball, misses away, that went nearly over the NCAA marker in left center field, where it's 427 to the right of that. And then he hit one to left center field up at Smith's Ballpark against the University of Utah, and that was also an absolute blast. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. The pitch, curveball right in there. A nice slow curve at 72 miles an hour. And the count is 1-2.
Patterson and James and I talked about it a lot last night. in center field, playing a little more shallow. Tonight, he seems to be playing a couple more steps back, as Andrus put one off that 408 sign in center field, just at the base of the wall. So
1-2 pitch misses outside, another breaking ball. 2-2.
So Chicago State seems to maybe be adjusting a little bit to how the ball carries here, and I mean that's kind of happens in the first game of a series, so you just kind of get used to everything.
It's true, and last night was chilly, just as tonight is, but the ball's still carrying. 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses down and away, and the count is full. It'll be Andrus, Kruger, and Atkinson. The Wolverines trail 4-0, bottom of the first inning. Nobody on, nobody out. The 3-2 on the way. That one's a line drive right at the first baseman, Schmidt. He reached down just between his legs and made the catch. So, a loud out, but one away in the first.
Sometimes you hit the ball hard, but you just hit them right at people, just like Kate Andrus does there.
So here's Mark Kruger, who is seeing the ball very well. Hitting .315, 16 runs batted in, 2 homers on the season. I asked him before the game, just jokingly. I said, hey, you're seeing the ball okay right now. I said, yeah, I'm hitting it pretty hard. Fastball misses away, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. Nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the first, 4-0. Chicago State, a big inning. Big first inning, I should say. The 1-0, slow curve right there on the outside corner, and it's 1-1.
Kruger hit a home run last night to right field that, it was a home run. It wasn't exactly the most impressive home run that we've seen Mark hit, but just got up over the fence, and that's really all that matters.
1-1 curveball stays up high, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike to Kruger. Atkinson waits on deck. Shading Kruger to the right in center field is Patterson. Playing deep in right is Hipchen. The pitch, swing and a miss. And it's 2-2. There was a fastball at 85, and Mark Kruger was behind it. Wolverines in their alternate green tops tonight, white pants. Chicago State in the black tops, gray pants, black caps, as the ball misses down and in, and the count is full to Kruger. The wind now beginning to swirl in center field. The pitcher's mound still just barely in the sun. The pitch swung on. This one a little blooper into left center field. This should fall. It will for a single. Mark Kruger takes a big turn around first base, but will wisely head back to the bag. And that one was just off his hands, but Kruger, using his strength, powered it into left center field for a base hit.
Well, and there goes that just kind of that opposite field. Okay, you're going to play me to pull. All right, I'm going to take the ball the other way. And, a big hole sitting out there in left center field. And so that was just kind of something that's just kind of something that happened.
So things kind of even out a bit after a hard hit ball for an out. Andrus Kruger doesn't get much of one, but a base hit. First pitch fastball to Atkinson misses down and away. Kruger, not a ton of speed, but not slow by any means. Held on over at first by Schmidt. The pitch. Fastball again, down in the dirt. Snap throw down to first, and Kruger was caught off the bag, and he's out. He took a big hop off of first base as a secondary lead, and that ball in the dirt was picked nicely by Friend. He snapped a throw down there, and Kruger had no chance. He was out by a couple feet.
Utah Valley last night took a lot of bases on those balls that went into the dirt. Chicago State doesn't have Swenson behind home plate tonight. They have Friend, and so Utah Valley might have to make that adjustment to say, okay, he's probably going to keep balls in front of him a little bit better.
So just like that, there are 2 outs and the bases are empty. 2-0 pitch catches the plate right there, poured in there, I should say. 2-1. Gothberg would hit should Atkinson reach. 4-0 Cougars. There's a beauty. A fastball right there on the inside corner, and the count's even at 2-2. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Nobody on, 2 outs. Chicago State had a 4-run first inning. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and chopped foul, third base side. Count remains at 2-2. The Wolverines went out of town for a couple weeks, and now, after returning, I have to say, here at Brent Brown Ballpark, the field looks much better. Beautiful green grass. The dirt looks, I'll have to talk to the infielders. I haven't had a chance to, but looks pretty good. That one swung on, popped up in the infield, right off the hands. Coming over is the pitcher into the third base side, about halfway up the third base line. Making the grab is Hall, and the inning is over. So the Wolverines get a base runner. However, he's picked off after a single. They get no runs in the first inning. We head to the top half of the second. It's 4-0. Chicago State, you're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Back here on WolverineGreen.com, Chicago State leads Utah Valley by a score of 4-0 as we begin the top of the second inning. The Cougars batted around in the first, so lead the first inning for the Cougs. Right-handed hitter back in there. This time he will face Jake Mayer, though. Jackson Kofer, the left-handed starter for the Wolverines, could not get through the first. First pitch breaking ball misses down and away, and it's 1-0. Not a lot of fans on hand tonight. Maybe 2 or 3. Now the pitch, curve there, and it's 1-1.
Tomorrow's supposed to be a beautiful day for baseball.
Also a nice play to get to that baseball from Bogdan. Very graceful over there at short.
Grayson Bogdan the last couple days have had some great plays defensively where he's gotten to some balls that I sit up here and I just go off the bat, I'm like, there's no way he gets to that. And then he fields it, and I'm like, there's no way he gets to run it first. Oh, he got him. So I'm going to quit naysaying Grayson Bogdan at short, and I'm just going to assume anytime the ball's hit in his direction, he's going to make the play.
Yeah, it wasn't a particularly a hard hit ball up the middle as a slider finds the strike zone. 0-1 to Mattingly Romanen, but it took a hop off the pitcher's mound. But Grayson gracefully handled it. 0-1. Fastball way outside, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody on, 1 out, top of the second inning, 4-0. Chicago State leading UVU. They jumped out to that 4-0 lead in the top of the first. Doubling down the left field line was Romanen in that inning. He ended up being forced out at third base on a fielder's choice as the ball misses away. It's 2-1. So Mayer being careful with him here. Righty on righty. The pitch. Breaking ball right there on the outside corner, strike 2, and that's a good pitch, just catching the outside. We should mention plenty of good seats still available for tomorrow's series finale. The 2-2. Fastball hit him on the hip. That one will sting. So he had him 2-2. And Mayer came in with a fastball, missed badly, and Romanen never had a chance to get out of the way of it. So a runner on first base now for Chase Matheson.
And that's just not, I mean, you get down 2-2. I mean, you never want to put base runners on, but when you're in a 2-2 count, good opportunity to get the first out of the inning, that's the last thing you want to do is hit a guy or walk a guy.
So Mayer into the stretch, working, looking for that ground ball. First pitch curveball misses down. It squirts away from Atkinson. He's able to retrieve it, though. 1-0. Romanin at first base. He's stolen 3 bags, been caught once this season. Held on over there by Gothberg. Mayer comes set below the waist. Checks the runner, throws. Fastball misses down and away, and it's 2-0. Did they call that the scoreboard says a strike. I didn't see. No, ball 2, says the umpire. Mike Whitty behind home plate. 2-0. The scoreboard is wrong. We'll see if the hit and run on is here. Runner stays put. Fastball misses away, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. So now Mayer struggling a bit with his command. 3-0. I got to stop looking at that scoreboard, Ryan. What is it? What's going on in that booth next to us?
Our home plate umpire being really kind, keeps flashing the 3, putting the 3 up there.
An irritated 3.
Letting
It's
everybody
3-0. And that ball misses outside. So a 4-pitch walk to Matheson, and once again the Wolverines are in some trouble. Runners on first and second with only 1 out for Andy Gertensen.
And some more action going to get brewing in that Utah Valley bullpen. And it's just not the time. You don't want to go this deep in the second inning, already warming up your 3rd pitcher for the game. You still have a game tomorrow, and then you have a midweek game against BYU, and then 3 more. I mean, it's just you don't want to go that deep into the bullpen. Dave Carter's been busy tonight. Will make his 2nd trip out to the mound.
Yeah, he'll head out there and maybe stall a bit as a righty gets warm in that pen. But the story, once again, is not Chicago State necessarily hitting the ball hard in this inning, which began with a ground out. Romanin then reached after being hit by a pitch, and then Gertensen was walked on 4 straight balls. So Mayer having a tough time right now, and home plate umpire Mike Whitty will head out there to break up this long meeting between Dave Carter, Jake Atkinson, and his battery mate Jake Mayer.
I missed the last one, but I believe that's Kyle Valgardson down there getting loose in the bullpen. I'll try to make sure I get names and numbers accurate the rest of tonight.
We will try and verify that. Here's Gertensen, who walked back in the first inning. 4-0 Cougars, threatening in the second. 2 men on, a man out. Wide open stance from the right side for Gertensen as he takes a ball low and away. The 6th straight ball thrown by Jake Mayer, having a hard time finding that strike zone. And Chicago State knows it. I can't imagine they'll be swinging here. The runners with their leads. The pitch, fastball, strike 1 right there on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Gertensen hitting .304, has a .379 on base percentage this season, hitting .321 with runners in scoring position. The 1-1 pitch, fastball, swing and a miss. And that fastball had some nice cut to it, tailing away from the right-handed hitter. And the count is 1-2. And a few UVU fans get into it now, trying to cheer on Mayer, get this out. 1 out in the inning, runners on first and second. Swung on, ground ball, foul. Just a slow roller down the third base line, and it's the count remains at 1-2.
This would be a big out for Jake Mayer just to kind of settle back in and get everything going. Again, that out can just give a pitcher a lot more confidence, and you don't have to worry about necessarily being like, okay, I got to get the double play. Just focus on getting 1 out at a time here and just go get him.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He got him on a breaking ball. That was a beauty. Looked like a slider that just swept across, I don't want to say across the zone, but just in front of that front edge of home plate. And whiffing at that one was Gertensen. So a nice pitch there and a nice job by Jake Mayer. 2 away now for Sanford Hunt. Matheson at first base, Romanin at second. 2 away in the inning. Hunt had an RBI single in the first inning. There's a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. If Mayer can get Hunt here without giving up a run with 2 men on, it's a little momentum for the Wolverines heading into the bottom half of the second. 4-0 Chicago State. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and it's quickly 0-2. That fastball was right down the pipe, and Hunt was behind it. Not a ton of velocity at 86 miles an hour. Now Cooper Fouts hopping out of the UVU dugout and telling the center fielder, Rainier, to come in and play dead center rather than playing to the left. The pitch, swing and a miss. He got him. Another looked like a cut fastball, and it was a beauty. So 2 consecutive strikeouts to end the inning, and the Wolverines get out of the jam. Nice job, Jake Mayer. We head to the bottom half of the second. The Wolverines trail 4-0. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. It will be Spencer Gothberg, Cody Moon, and Grayson Bogdan to hit here in the Wolverines' second. UVU trails Chicago State 4-0 after a 4-run first inning put up there by the Cougars. Back out on the mound is Eric Hall for Chicago State. He gave up a single to Mark Kruger in the first inning, but after a snap throw down to first from the catcher Friend, Kruger was picked off. First pitch, misses. And it's 1-0 to the right-handed hitting Gothberg. Spencer Gothberg hitting .256 this season, hitting .333 when leading off innings. The 1-0, breaking ball falls in there for a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. The outfield playing straight away for the Cougars. Everybody straight away. Gothberg, no home runs on the year. 2 triples, though. That one swung on, ground ball to second base. Routine for Mattingly Romanen. He gobbles it up, throw to first, and there's 1 away. That'll bring up Cody Moon, the designated hitter. Cody Moon's been a nice story this season. He's been in the program for a while, went on an LDS mission, came back, and has hit the ball pretty well this year. Hasn't had a ton of at-bats, but has been there when the Wolverines need him. First pitch, the right-handed hitter is on the inside corner, called for a strike. Moon, not a big guy, bent at the knees from that right side. Pitch, fastball right there on the outside corner. It's 0-2.
Every year you just kind of look for that guy who's that one guy that's going to step up, and right now it's been Cody Moon.
That one, a chopper up the middle, slowly hit, coming over and to his right. His second baseman throw across his body to get Moon, and what a play from Mattingly Romanen. And if you thought Romanen didn't have an arm, you were wrong. He had to throw that one. He was past the second base bag when he threw that ball. He was in front of the second base bag, passed it toward shortstop, and threw it across his body, easily getting Moon. What a throw.
And that's a much harder throw than it looks, because it's just an awkward motion all the way around. I mean, you're fielding it one way, having to throw across, and you bring that shoulder across, it kind of gets stuck, and just an awkward throw, but Romanen made it look easy.
Very easy. That was impressive. First pitch curveball is called for a strike to Bogdan. The Wolverines, first time through the order, we've seen them take a lot of first pitch strikes. There's another strike in there. That a breaking ball. Right down the middle, 0-2. 2 outs, nobody on. No balls, 2 strikes to count to Bogdan. Fastball misses down low, and it's 1-2. Seth Rainier would hit should Bogdan reach. 4-0, Chicago State. The outfield playing shallow. The pitch, just a bit outside. Bogdan offered at it, but an appeal down to the first base umpire Kellen Levy, I beg your pardon. He says Bogdan did not go around. And the count's 2-2. Bogdan, no batting gloves for the right-handed hitter. Pitch swung on and missed. Struck him out. First strikeout of the evening for Eric Hall, and that does it in the Wolverines' second. So the Wolverines go down in order. We head to the top of the third, 4-0, Chicago State. We head to the top of the third inning. Chicago State leads UVU by a score of 4-0. Back out there on the mound for the Wolverines is Jake Mayer. He will face Matt Schmidt, Chris Hipchin, and Cody Friend. And to tell you all about it, it is my distinct pleasure to give you Ryan Pickens.
Thank you, Jordan, as Matt Schmidt will stand in. RBI single back in his first at-bat. Jake Mayer kicks and delivers home, and the first pitch in there, just about maybe a little bit below the knees for a called strike. No balls and a strike. It'll be Schmidt, Hipchin, and Friend coming up, 6, 7, and 8. The 0-1 pitch comes home, and that one sits just off the inside corner, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Schmidt even stands in that batter's box. Outfield going to play him pretty straight away. And the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung on. That one's hit out in the left center field gap. That's going to easily split the outfielders and one hop the wall. Schmidt rounds first. He'll head into 2. He's going to make the turnaround second. He's digging for 3. The relay throw from Bogdan in on a hop. It gets behind him. But perfectly backing up that play is Jake Mayer. And on with a leadoff triple is Matt Schmidt. And once again, Chicago State with a runner in scoring position as Chris Hipchin is going to come to the plate. And that was a ball that was just hit right out into the left center field gap. And Rainier and Andrus, there was no way either one of them, both of them with pretty good speed out there, but the ball was just hit deep enough where no one was going to get to that. And now an opportunity here as Utah Valley will come in on the infield to try to cut the run down. Chris Hipchin walked in his first at-bat. The first pitch he swings and pops that one up foul back behind home plate. And it'll be no balls and a strike. Chicago State definitely looking like a much different team from last night's ball game, where Utah Valley was able to come out with the victory here at Brent Brown Ballpark. No balls and a strike. Mayer kicks and delivers the 0-1 pitch. And that one just, I guess, misses high, maybe a little inside. And the count goes even to 1-1. Outfield straight away, infield coming in, playing maybe about a step or so behind that infield dirt. Definitely trying to keep that runner at third on a ground ball. The 1-1 pitch swung on and missed, and it's 1-2 to Hipchin. Hipchin hitting 179 on the season. Getting the start in right field tonight for Evan Davis. Mayer set, ready to go. The kick and the delivery comes home. That was a good block there by Jake Atkinson as that one came in low, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hipchin with the open stance in the batter's box. That front foot hitting just about the batter's box, and that one swung on and fouled away. It stands really back late on the outer the outer line there of the batter's box, and that one was fouled away, so we'll do another 2-2 pitch. Mayer looking for that strikeout pitch. He's got got 2 strikeouts back in the second. Looking for the third, and the pitch comes home. Swung on line right to Fuller, who's going to make the play as he makes the play on the line drive, 1 away, and that holds Matt Schmidt over at third for the big first out of the inning. And Cody Friend, the catcher, will come to the plate. Friend had a RBI ground out. He was up with the bases loaded, the first one to face Jake Mayer, and hit a ground ball to Spencer Gothberg that was able to get the run home for the 4th run of the Chicago State first inning. So now he'll look to try to produce an RBI here, and the first pitch on its way home is a fastball that misses away, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. A fly ball to the outfield, a ground ball hit up the middle with that Utah Valley infield playing in. It's going to have to be hit right at them to keep that run from scoring. The 1-0 pitch on its way. That one swung on, grounded right to Fuller. Fuller bobbles it. Run's going to come in and score. The flip over to first is in time to get Friend. But because of the bobble, I would imagine there that would have prevented that run from scoring had Fuller fielded it cleanly. So Schmidt scores from third and makes it 5-0. And I would imagine that that would be ruled an error on the bobble to prevent the run from scoring, but I guess in a sense it's a fielder's choice though, so we'll wait for the official rule here at Brent Brown Ballpark. But retired at the end of the day is Friend for the second out of the inning, and Quentin Alexander will stand in. The first pitch, Alexander swings and fouls it away, and it's no balls and a strike. Alexander, good arm deep in the hole, saw him make a couple of plays last night for the Cougars. No balls and 1 strike to count. The delivery comes home. That one swung on and fouled away. So it looks like they're just going to credit Friend there with a ground out. So no error on the play. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Alexander 0 for 1. Grounded out to Grayson Bogdan in the first. Mayer sets, kicks, and delivers the 0-2 pitch. And that just missed low there. A couple of the Wolverines started to take steps towards the dugout, but the call was not made by our home plate umpire, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mayer set, kicks, and delivers the 1-2, and that one misses away with the fastball at 87 miles an hour and evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The sun moving behind us here at Brent Brown Ballpark, beginning to set, putting some of the field now in shadows. And the 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed, strike 3. Jake Mayer's got his 3rd strikeout of the ball game, but the Cougars do get 1. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. The Utah Valley Wolverines come up with Seth Reinier after the break. You're watching Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom half of the 3rd here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Utah Valley trying to cut into that lead, and they'll have the bottom 3 of their lineup coming up. It's going to be Seth Reinier, Jordan Schlehuber, and Zach Fuller, 7, 8, 9 coming up. Reinier hitting .232, and he'll get the first pitch from Eric Hall, and that's in there for a called strike at the knees, no balls and a strike. 1 score just to kind of quickly pass along to you. Sacramento State heading here to Brent Brown Ballpark next weekend. They trail 5-2 up in Seattle for the 2nd straight game. If Seattle holds on, they'll win that series, and the 1-1 pitch is away for a ball. And it evens the count at 1-1 strike, which means they'll have control of the whack at the end of tonight. Well, potentially Grand Canyon. They could be in a tie with Grand Canyon.
Although Grand Canyon is ineligible for any type of postseason play.
So 1-2 strikes as Rainier fouled it away. So I guess, and essentially, when it comes to postseason play, Seattle would be right now that number 1 seed in the heading to the WAC tournament coming up in Mesa in, hard to believe to say this, next month already. The 1-2 pitch getting ready to come as Hall kicks and delivers, and that one a little maybe high and inside, evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 to Seth Rainier. Hall set, kicks and delivers the 2-2 pitch. Rainier swings, hits that one out to right. Hipchin going back, puts the glove up and makes the catch. And there's 1 out here in the 3rd. A hard hit ball just hit right at Hipchin. And with 1 out, Jordan Schlehuber will come to the plate. Schlehuber yesterday had a couple of pretty good at-bats. And it'd be good to see him down in that 8th spot. Somebody gets going. Be good to see somebody in the bottom part of the lineup. Schlehuber having 2 runs scored, including a single in last night's ball game. And he gets the first pitch there and misses that low and away with the ball. 1 ball and no strikes. As Jordan got our heater going here in the booth, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, we got some warmth. So thank you, Jordan.
It's under the desk.
And that makes the count 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Schlehuber.
I'll tell you something about this heater, though. It's pretty impressive. We've had a heater behind us in our booth for as long as I've been here, for 6 years, and it's never worked.
1-1 pitch, and that one misses inside. It's 2 balls and a strike. And so now we have this like kind of little
space heater
that rotates, so we can just have that going back and forth. And
top of the line.
So last night it made the kind of the world of difference, as it was a little bit cooler last night as the pitch misses and it's 3 balls and a strike to Schlehuber. And this is the sort of a bat that somebody for Utah Valley needs to have, where, you know, draw a walk, get something going right now.
Down 5-0, just get a run, get a couple, get something. Exactly.
Hall puts the 3-1 pitch, and that one misses, ball 4, and Jordan Schlehuber's got a walk, and you could tell Schlehuber kind of stood there for a second, thought, I think that, ball 4. I think Schlehuber was kind of surprised that was called a ball himself. And
yeah, I think he wanted to make sure he didn't show up, the home plate umpire, but at the same time, you don't want to convince the home plate umpire that was a strike. That was a strike.
That pitch looked pretty good from here, but Zach Fuller will come to the plate. I'm not complaining. That was called ball 4. That one gets in there just about knee-high to Zach, and it's no balls and a strike. Zach Fuller last night he was another Wolverine that had a really good game. Honestly, when you score 16 runs, just about everybody in the lineup, but he had 2 hits, including a 2-run triple that went out to about that 427 mark, and strike 2 comes in on the outside corner. And it was kind of one of those things that we saw. James and I talked about it last night. Jared Patterson playing a few steps in. It appears to me that he's kind of moved back a step or 2 tonight in center field. No balls and 2 strikes to Fuller, and that one's taken low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes, as Friend was able to quickly pick it up out of the dirt, and it's 1-2. Schlehuber gets his lead over at first. Cooper Fouts in the third base coaching box. Derek Amicone over at first. 1-2 pitch on its way. That one blocked in the dirt again by Friend. And now even the count at 2-2, and Friend will go out and have a quick word. Friend, a freshman, prepped at McHenry, Illinois. It looks like he's from McHenry, Illinois. And so 2 balls and 2 strikes to count on Zach Fuller. Fuller's going to stand in, give a look into that third base dugout to get some signs here, and we're set, ready to go with the 2-2 pitch. Hall, the right-hander, from the stretch, delivers the 2-2. That one swung on past the diving first baseman, fair ball. It goes off of Schmidt's glove, taking the turn and going to third is Schlehuber. Fuller that slides into second safely. Heads up, base running there to realize when Schmidt dove, it goes off his glove and kind of kicked out towards the bullpen, and it made for a long run for Romanin and also a long run in for Hipchin. and heads up base running to immediately make the turn, because if you stood there for a second, waited to see what happened, you're gunned down at second base.
Yeah, and he, as you said, he baited that throw. If that throw just gets past or caroms a little bit, Schlehuber showed some good speed on that, heading first to third. So the Wolverines in business here, and who would rather have up right now? Cade Andrus, top of the order.
Cade Andrus at the top of the order, the leading RBI man for Utah Valley this year, coming into this at-bat with 17. And I think they're waiting here to stop music or something, and it looks like we're set ready to go now. Everyone's just kind of looking back to the press box, and with one out now, Andrus stands in. Big at-bat here for Utah Valley. Swings and pops it up. Should be deep enough, though, to get the run home. Hipchin's out there in right field, makes the play. Schlehuber's going to tag. The throw's going to come into third on a hop, but it pulls Gertensen off the bag. So Fuller there coming in to score is Jordan Schlehuber, and Utah Valley's chipped into that lead. And a 5-1 lead still for Chicago State, but you have Mark Kruger coming up here with a runner on third and 2 outs, and I don't think there's a guy in this Utah Valley lineup you'd rather have up here than Mark Kruger in this situation.
Absolutely. Going back to that sacrifice fly, I got to compliment the right fielder, Chris Hipchin. That was a great throw. It was not on line, as you said, but a strong arm out there and right.
Hall's first pitch to Kruger is off the plate for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. And the other thing, too, I love the throw, but also to battle the sun, because he's out there in right field, and that ball was hit out in right center, so he's having to try to find the ball in that sun. And it's not exactly easy when the sun is setting here at Brent Brown Ballpark on the outfielders. 1 ball and no strikes to count on Kruger, and the 1-0 pitch misses low and away, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, they're going to be real careful with Kruger here with a man at third base. And 2 on deck is Atkinson.
And, I mean, for Chicago State, they have first base open, so maybe pitching around Mark Kruger here in a sense. And the 2-0 pitch is low, ball 3, and it's 3-0. Kruger, of course, hitting the home run that we talked about earlier down the right field line last night in the ball game. It's brought his batting average up to .323. He's getting hot at the right time. 3 balls and no strikes. The pitch on its way, misses low, ball 4. So Mark Kruger draws a 2-out walk, and now runners are on the corners for Jake Atkinson. And this is one of those situations here where you have to be very attentive. Utah Valley last night really got aggressive on the base pass. Mark Kruger with a couple of stolen bases. And this would be just kind of the situation that you could see maybe Utah Valley taking a chance on running here. Maybe not necessarily you'd like to do it with 2 outs, but an opportunity to get 2 men in scoring position where potentially a base hit brings it back within 2. So Kruger over at first. Decent speed for Mark on the year, 3 for 4 in stolen base attempts. Well, I guess 3 for 5 now with the pickoff move back in the first. As the pitch comes high and tight for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll be. He was picked off, but I don't think it'll go down as a stolen base attempt, will it?
I'm not sure. That's the way I scored it. I'm not sure. We'd have to. Maybe we'll check in between innings and.
He wasn't trying to steal.
Back.
He did just get picked off.
Hall steps over to third, looks over to first. Everyone back. It's kind of one of those things. Every time I kind of look at it, I always kind of wonder. I'm sure it's worked some point in baseball for everyone to want to do it, but I've never seen it really work out too well. 1-0 count to Jake Atkinson, and that was swung on by Atkinson and hit out into the gap. Not going to get there. Matheson, that's going to roll to the wall. Coming in to score is Fuller. Right behind him is Mark Kruger. Atkinson going into third, and he's got himself a 2-run triple. So just the big hit you were looking for Utah Valley. Kruger quickly hustling around from first, and it's 5-3 in favor of Chicago State, but here comes Utah Valley.
That's a huge hit because they pitched around Mark Kruger to get to Atkinson, and that's a key to a key to this Wolverine offense. If you to trust in your teammates, to be able to get that trust, and hey, if they pitch around me, if I can't get a hit, my guy coming up, he's going to get a base hit. We have something going. That's a huge turn in this game for the Wolverines.
Momentum has very much shifted here in the third inning, and the first pitch from Hall misses low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. And you talk about for a team like Utah Valley, kind of maybe middle of the road in the WAC. I mean, I don't want to say they're at the top of the conference.
They're not.
I mean, they're projected to finish somewhere in that 4, 5, 6 spot. But a win when you get a team like Chicago State, that gets in there for a strike at the knees, and it's 1-1. When you have the teams from the bottom part of the conference, you get Chicago State coming in with that 1-4, 1-5 record. These are kind of must-win games for Utah Valley. And so an opportunity to fight back in as Gothberg hits that one out to center. Patterson's going to range over into right center and make the play. So Utah Valley, they do get 3. They strand 1 at the end of 3 complete from Brent Brown Ballpark. Chicago State 5, Utah Valley 3. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Top of the 4th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. And now the Chicago State Cougars coming up. Ryan Pickens and Jordan Bianucci with you. And the first pitch is swung on and fly ball to center field by Patterson. And Seth Ryanier right there to make the play. And there's 1 out in the 4th. So 1 pitch, 1 out if you're Jake Mayer. That's not bad.
No, keep that momentum on the Wolverine side here as they came up with a 3-run third. They would love nothing more than a quick inning here in the top of the 4th.
So, Jordan, I got a little baseball trivia question for you here. And I will change my screen so you don't see the answer. As the first pitch is away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to Mattingly Romanen. So, do you know who the all-time leader in being caught stolen bases is? Or I guess are or would be, or however the proper English for that is.
Well, when you...
And it's 2 balls and 2 balls and no strikes to Romanen.
Your grammar has confused me, so I don't think it's fair that I even answer this question. No, let me think about that.
As the 2-0 pitch is away or low for ball 3, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. I was surprised when I saw the answer because, it's not exactly, and maybe I'm giving too much away, but don't overthink it. 3 balls and no strikes. The pitch comes in, that hits the outside corner. It's 3-1.
It's not Ricky Henderson.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah, and that's what I thought. So at first I'm like, oh, gee, it's got to be somebody who just tries to steal all the time. And I was surprised.
No, he would have been sent back down to the minors very quick.
3-1 pitch on its way home is swung on and grounded to short. Grayson Bogdan is there, and the throw across the diamond in time to get Romanen, and there's 2 away. I was looking up, and I'm going to kind of continue and hopefully get the answer officially to see how that caught stealing is officially scored. I've been told by a couple of very good sources that I trust baseball-wise to say that's not a stolen base attempt. So I'm starting to lean towards it's not, but I'm just trying to figure out for future reference how to score it.
Is one of those sources me?
I will give you credit.
Thank you.
Yep, I'll give you credit for that. As Chase Matheson stands in, the first pitch misses low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. The count. Matheson's walked and hit into a fielder's choice and came around to score. 1 ball and no strikes. The count on the Chicago State left fielder. Jake Mayer has done a good job coming in relief and holding the bats down as that one gets past Atkinson to the backstop, and it's 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes the count to Matheson. Outfield still covered for the most part in sunlight. Infield now starting to be covered in some shadows. 2-0 pitch, and that one in there for a called strike. The lights are coming on, and oftentimes last year, Jordan, I would say the lights are taking like 10%. I realize I haven't done that, in a long time.
I'm missing it.
I'm going to say they're probably like 13.5% right now. The 2-1 pitch misses low for ball 3, 3-1, and I will, cut out all my kind of cheesy comments.
If you can make that judgment call, that's impressive. But to get back to that caught stealing,
as that one swung on and missed by Matheson, it's 3-2.
that with Kruger, it was not, at least tonight, it was not scored as a caught stealing. So
Okay.
that's what we have.
So there's 3 wise opinions to my kind of half opinion as that one swung on and fouled away, because I'm not convinced it should be. Is that a home run? I thought it was foul, but it looks like that's a home run for Matheson. It came up, and it looks like it just hit right around that 305 mark, and Matheson goes yard.
Well, it was a high fly ball, and off the bat, it looked like it was going to easily hook foul down that left field line. It was so high, though, the umpire, home plate umpire, Kellen, or rather Mike Whitty, had to go up the first baseline. He really looked at it, and I thought he made a good call. I thought it was a fair ball. That ball was crushed, man.
I have a beam right here that to try to see one in the corner, I have to veer around, and I think what happened was I just got caught looking around and couldn't find the baseball. So Chase Matheson goes yard. Chicago State now leads 6-3, and the first pitch to Andy Gertensen is low and away for a ball, and it's 1-0. Gertensen's walked and also struck out.
That hurts if you're Jake Mayer. You got the first 2 men out after a nice offensive inning, and you give up the 2-out home run. But if you can limit it to that, that's the goal now. That ball was hit very, very high. The foul poles here at Brent Brown not
Ball tapped right out in front of home plate. Atkinson fires down to first in time, and the 4th inning comes to an end. So we head to the bottom of the 4th. It's Chicago State 6, Utah Valley 3. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Direct your attention to the third baseline. It's time for the pizza pie.
Bottom half of the 4th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Wolverines coming up as it's going to be Cody Moon, the designated hitter, to step in and lead it off. So it's going to be Moon, Bogdan, and Rainier. And an opportunity here to cut into the 6-3 lead against right-handed pitcher Eric Hall for Chicago State, who's done actually a really nice job tonight. Hall's, given up the 3 runs and the 3 hits, but for the most part, pitched pretty well. Hall, the right-hander, getting set. Cody Moon 0 for 1 with a ground out to second on the night. And the first pitch is going to be swung on and chopped to short. Alexander going back on it. His throw over to first in time, and there's one away in the fourth. So we'll put to rest the discussion. That is not considered a caught stealing. So we'll put to rest that discussion. And, you know,
if I had a gavel or maybe that sound effect from Law and Order, I would use it. Unfortunately, we just don't have the budget for those types of
sound
things.
effects
Yeah,
and, you know, things like that.
You know, it's a state school. We're trying our best here.
So with one away, Grayson Bogdan steps up to the plate. Bogdan went down swinging in his first at-bat, and the first pitch is high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. We'll just pretend there's an imaginary gavel, and Jordan just hit it. All right, there we go. Final. Case closed. Verdict has been rendered, and the 1-0 pitch on its way, and that one in there at the knees evens the count of 1 ball and 1 strike to Grayson Bogdan. Bogdan, one of those guys, and I said it a lot last year, and I haven't, talked about it a lot this year. He always has a good at-bat. Like, very seldom does he have a bad at-bat as he swings and comes up empty there. It's 1-2. I mean, even those situations when maybe he swings through the baseball or doesn't quite come up with it right there, that's still not bad. It's still a good at-bat with Bogdan up there. The pitch, and Bogdan base hit back up the middle. No, getting there, making the throw on a hop, but not going to get Bogdan is Romanin. You got to give Romanin credit there. That is a tough play to go up the hole, have to backhand it, leap in the air, Derek Jeter style, and throw to first.
Well, he did that almost earlier in this ball game to get Cody Moon in his last at bat, but he came in front of the second base bag that time. That throw, I saw that throw, and I thought he could make this play, and he actually made it fairly. Nice arm on Roman second base. Can't say enough about that.
Seth Reinier comes to the plate here.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Eric Madsen put on the hit and run here.
Bogdan 1 for 1 in stolen bases. That one's high. Another snap throw. Bogdan back, and it makes the count 2-1. The bunt was just late. He just quickly pulled it back and evens the count there 2-1. Gertensen at third, playing back at third base, which I'm kind of surprised about because if Reinier does lay one down, if he just kind of puts it out there between the pitcher and third baseman, he's going to find a way to beat that out, I think. Gertensen playing back. Now he'll kind of move up a little bit. Protect against the bunt. That's a ground ball right to Gertensen off his glove. Gets to it quickly, throws across the diamond, and gets Seth Reinier. Good job of good fundamental baseball there of hitting the baseball and knocking it down and not preventing it to get by you.
Gertensen, yeah, terrific recovery there. That ball was hit hard. He played it off his chest and was able to catch the carom off his chest with the glove, 2 hands, and get him and make the play, complete the 5-3 putout. Yeah, really nice job to stay with that by Gertensen.
Jordan Schlehuber steps up. Not an official at-bat for Jordan. Walked in his first plate appearance in the third. And then came around to score one of the 3 runs for Utah Valley in the first pitch. In there on the inside corner, 0-1. Schlehuber from the right side. Outfield playing straight away. Infield playing pretty normal depth as well. No balls and a strike. Hall kicks and delivers on its way. That one blocked in the dirt by Friend. And, Swenson last night behind home plate for Chicago State had a hard time holding those base runners. You got to give the credit there to Cody Friend tonight. He's done a great job of keeping those base runners from being able to move up 90 feet.
Schlehuber went, of course, 1 for 3 last night, only hitting 158 on the year. Trying to get that bat going. The Wolverines need some production out of that bottom of the order.
And Schlehuber's been kind of all over the batting lineup. We've seen him as high as 2 this year. The 1-1 pitch, and that one misses low and away again. It's 2-1. So working the count well, getting in a favorable hitter's count, and starting to get work towards getting into a fastball count here. 2 balls and 1 strike to count on Schlehuber. Hall set, checks the runner at second, kicks and delivers the pitch home. Swung on and grounded to the left side. Gertensen makes a diving step, gets to his feet, throw over to first, is picked beautifully by Schmidt at first, and the inning is over. I don't think you can find a better fundamentally defensive play than that, as Gertensen with the dive, the good throw, and then of course the pick over at first by Schmidt. Utah Valley gets one man on, and they leave him at the end of 4 here from Brent Brown Ballpark. Chicago State 6, Utah Valley 3. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Top of the 5th inning here on WolverineGreen.com. The Wolverines make a pitching change to start the inning. Right-hander Kyle Valgardson will come out of the bullpen. On the season, Kyle Valgardson will make his 13th appearance. He's 0-2 with a 3.32 ERA. 19 innings, does have 2 saves, though, on the year. So a good opportunity for Kyle to try to keep the Chicago State Cougars off the board. 19 hits on the year, 10 runs, 7 of which have been earned, 7 walks, 10 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting 260 off him, so an opportunity here to see exactly what will happen. So as I send it over to my broadcast partner here in the booth, the pleasure is all mine to be working with you, Jordan, as I send it back over to Jordan Bianucci. Jordan?
Thank you so much, Ryan. Sanford Hunt will lead things off here for Chicago State in the 5th. He will be followed by Matt Schmidt and Chris Hipchin. So the Wolverines trailing by 3 here, top of the 5th inning. Valgardson from the windup, he throws. Fastball swung on and missed, 0-1. Fastball there at 87 miles an hour on the inside corner. The right-handed hitting Hunt is trying to put that one over the left field wall. 1 strike pitch. That one swung on and fouled off to the right side. That way out of play, and it's 0-2. So the Wolverines trying to stay in this ballgame. They trailed 4-0 after the top of the 1st inning. It's 6-3 in the 5th. And some nice defensive plays by Chicago State have kept them in front. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a little looping liner into right or center field. It's going to carry, though, and hang up there for the center fielder, Seth Rainier, and there's 1 away in the 5th.
A good first out to get Utah Valley tonight. Struggled a little bit getting that first out of the inning, and now a good opportunity here to take that first out, take that momentum going forward, out 2 and 3.
So here's Matt Schmidt hitting from the left side. Schmidt on the night, 2 for 2. RBI single and a triple, run scored. The left-handed hitter standing straight up. The pitch, he shows bunt. Curveball falls in there for a strike. I say a curveball. That one looked like it had some break, but it was clocked at 88, so maybe a nice cutter or something's seriously wrong with the radar gun. Either way, a strike. 0-1, swung on, fouled back onto the rooftop, and it's 0-2.
You know, and that's just the thing with your Utah Valley here. If you can keep it, 3-2, 3, maybe even 4 runs, if you can keep it in striking distance with how streaky the Wolverine bats have been, I mean, you can get 2 or 3 runs back pretty quickly with the way this offense has played this year.
0-2 pitch, swung on and fouled back to the screen. The Utah Valley outfield playing deep all the way around. Everybody straight away on the infield. Nobody on, 1 out, 6-3. Cougars leading the Wolverines in this Western Athletic Conference matchup. The 0-2. Ball off the offside. He went around, says third base umpire on appeal, Frank Flutgart. And strikeout for Kyle Valgartson, his first. And they're 2 away in the 5th.
That bat just kind of came around, and from my vantage point, it looks like it was strike 3. So good appeal down to third there, and
the ball was out of the strike zone. So nice job to get him to chase. First pitch swinging and missing is Chris Hipchin, and it's 0-1. So Valgartson looking very sharp here as he begins this 5th. 2 outs. 0-1 pitch is swung on and hit high, but in the ballpark easily. Coming into shallow center field, making the grab is Rainier, and a quick top of the 5th for the Wolverines. We head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Coming up for the Wolverines, it will be Fuller, Andrus, and Kruger, 9, 1, and 2. UVU trails 6-3. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Like a cool rockin' daddy, here comes Zach Fuller to lead things off here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. A little Springsteen between innings. You gotta like that.
Sometimes, you're born in the USA, and, an opportunity here for Utah Valley to just get things going.
I thought you were gonna. I was like, where?
I was trying to think of other like Springsteen songs to kind of run it together, but that was a little before my era, so I know a little bit, but
well, here's Fuller facing Mayer. First pitch, or rather Hall. I beg your pardon. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Well, you could say the Wolverines have a hungry heart in this inning.
The other one I knew was, from was a Christmas song, and I figured that would be kind of hard to tie in.
Line drive, base hit into center field, and the leadoff man is on. Zach Fuller, as you mentioned earlier, Ryan, is getting hot at the plate.
And that's important from the 9 spot because you get a man on and you go to Cade Andrus and then Mark Kruger. So just an opportunity right now just to go 9-1-2. That 9-hole hitter, oftentimes people say, and I think part of it's because kind of the stigma from the National League when you have your pitcher step in there and hit. A lot of times the 9-hole hitter doesn't get enough credit for being a good hitter, but Zach Fuller there finds a way to get on.
6-3, Chicago State leading Utah Valley. First pitch breaking ball is fouled off to the right side, and Andrus is mad at himself. He missed that pitch. It's 0-1 as he's talking to himself down there. Springsteen, a little before your time. You can still buy his music.
And the thing is like I'll listen to it. I really like it when I can, look on something and be like, oh, hey, look at that.
I'm making you a mix. 0-1 pitch, fastball up and in, throw down to first, back in diving safely is Fuller.
I think I'd probably have a little homework assignment tonight before the 11 o'clock first pitch tomorrow.
Yeah, I would say so. The count is 1-1. You can always start with his third album, Born to Run, one of the greatest of all times. Then go from there, maybe right into. You could go into Born in the USA, but you don't want to miss Darkness on the Edge of Town. You can't go wrong. 1-1 pitch, misses low and away. It's 2 balls, 1 strike to Cade Andrus. Andrus hitting .282 on the season, hitting .342 with runners on base. Good speed at first in the form of Zach Fuller. The sun's setting here at Brent Brown beyond the first base grandstand. Still dealing with that sun in left field is Chase Matheson. 2-1 pitch. Swung on, little looper into right coming in, and now hanging up there. Making the catch in right is Hipchen. Back in diving Fuller ahead of the throw. Well ahead of the throw. There's one away. So Andrus gets the bat on the ball, but right at the right fielder. And here comes Mark Kruger.
You know, the thing was, Patterson playing in dead center field, and then Hipchen kind of playing maybe towards the line. A lot of green out there in right center field, and I was sitting there thinking before he swung, I'm like, if he could just take one the opposite way right there and gap it. Well, he took it the opposite way, but I guess I didn't quite get specific enough on that one.
Yeah, right at Chris Hipchen out there. So here's the left-handed hitting Kruger, the power hitter. The pitch to him. Breaking ball misses off the outside. It's 1-0 to Mark. Kruger hitting .323, .364 with runners on. Tonight, he's walked and singled. Hit a home run last night. The tall lefty out of Jordan High School. Fuller with a medium-sized lead at first base. Ball misses low and away again, 2-0. So they're being very careful with Mark Kruger. The last time Mark Kruger came to the plate, they walked him, pitched around him essentially to get to Atkinson, who then tripled in 2 runs. Jake Atkinson on deck. The pitch outside, and it's 3-0 to Mark. These pitches not real close.
And I would say, maybe they're pitching around him again, but you wouldn't do that with first base not open.
No, and you would bring up the tying run in Jake Atkinson. So a walk here is just fine with Mark. The pitch, fastball way outside, 4-pitch walk. So the last 8 balls Mark has seen, they've been just that, out of the strike zone. So now runners on first and second for Jake Atkinson, the 3-place hitter and catcher tonight for the Wolverines.
This is another good opportunity for Jake to get going. And sometimes you have to come up, especially if you struggle early on in the season. It's easy to kind of it's hard. Well, not easy. It's hard to dig yourself out of that rut. But all of a sudden, 1 or 2 good at bats or a good series, especially here where you play 3 games in a weekend, that one good series can kind of carry over into 2 or 3.
Exactly. 2 men out, or rather 1 man out, 2 men on. The pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. I say a fastball, a breaking ball there that was low and away. Chasing it was Atkinson, the right-handed hitter. 1 strike the count to him. Jake Atkinson represents the tying run. Some good speed on the base path. Kruger at first, not being held on. Fuller at second, good-sized lead. The 0-1. In the dirt, outside a ball, and I stopped by Cody Friend behind home plate, and the count's even at 1-1. We are in the bottom of the 5th inning. Chicago State 6, Utah Valley 3. Spencer Gothberg, the man waiting on deck. Eric Hall and the Cougars looking for a ground ball, a double play. The pitch in the dirt and away, 2-1 to Atkinson. So Hall really relying on those breaking balls, has not thrown a fastball in a while and has definitely not thrown one to Atkinson.
You have to kind of wonder. Typically pitchers, when they struggle with the breaking ball, a lot of times they'll go fastball because it's probably it is the easier pitch to control because you don't have a break on it. So I'm kind of interested to see if he goes fastball here.
He does. Fastball misses up high, though, and it's 3-1.
Now the danger is you're going in a fastball count, 3-1. Good chance Atkinson gets a fastball here. We'll see if Jake can do something with it.
Yeah, he steps out of the batter's box, takes a look into the dugout, gets the sign. A big moment here. 3 balls, 1 strike. Atkinson sitting dead red. The runners with their leads. The pitch, fastball, right there on the outside corner, strike 2. And that was a good one from Eric Hall. He did not pour that one in there. Atkinson did not swing at a nice pitcher's pitch there. And the count is full. 1 out. Kruger at first base. Fuller at second. Atkinson at the plate. The Wolverines trail by 3. Hall from the stretch. He throws. Fastball swung on and foul tipped. No, just out of the glove of Cody Friend, and just barely staying alive was Atkinson. I thought he got him there, but that ball just popped out of the catcher's mitt. And we'll do it again. We mentioned, of course, Atkinson tripled in 2 runs in his last at bat. The Wolverines fell behind 4-0, rather 5-0 in this ball game. They've battled back. They trail 6-3 here. 3-2 pitch, up high. A nice take, a fastball that was out of the strike zone, and the bases are loaded for Spencer Gothberg.
And back-to-back walks, and this is when Chicago State struggled last night, is when all of a sudden they couldn't throw strikes. They lost command. Hall only, maybe a little bit above 80 pitches at this point, so his pitch count wouldn't necessarily be something to watch for, but all of a sudden, one swing of the bat, and out comes one of the coaches for Chicago State.
Yeah, not sure if that's the head coach, Steve Jocelyn. We can't see their numbers, but no one getting warm in the pen, so if they're going to make a pitching change, it would be a position player coming in to pitch. We'll see what goes on here as the whole infield comes in to have a meeting.
Now, last night, one thing Chicago State did that was interesting was they had a guy warming up in the pen. The catcher came out, waited for the umpire to come out to the mound. The umpire and catcher walked back, and then out came the coach out to make the pitching change. So kind of one of those things to kind of watch out for. But like you said, Jordan, nobody in the pen warming up. So if it is, it's going to be a change within the fielders. And I don't think there's a change being made here.
Nope, going to stick with Eric Hall. He's pitched well. We're into the 5th. He's given up 3 runs on 5 hits, but he is in a jam now. Bases loaded, 1 out, tying run at first base for the Wolverines. As the lights begin to take effect here, the sun has set. The sun no longer a problem in left field for Chase Matheson. Now the corners at the first base, Min Schmidt playing in front of the runner at first. Back behind the bag at third, though, is Gertensen. The pitch, down low. Curveball misses, and it's 1 ball, no strikes to Gothberg. Spencer Gothberg 0 for 2 tonight, hitting .250 on the year. He's hitting .500 with the bases loaded this season, however. Outfield straight away. 1-0 pitch, swung on, chopper foul. Third base side, and the count is even at 1-1.
This is always an interesting position to be in as a hitter because you go up there and you're like, well, do I take pitches and make them throw me strikes, or do I go up there hacking? And, really you have to swing if you get a good pitch, but I think, honestly, you let Hall throw it over the plate.
Yeah, pretty balanced approach, I guess, here from Gothberg, as looks like a righty getting loose now in the pen for the Cougars. 1 ball, 1 strike. 6-3, Cougars lead. The pitch. Breaking ball right in there. A beauty at 75 miles an hour, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Spencer Gothberg. Bases loaded, 1 out in the 5th. Waiting on deck is Cody Moon. Righty on righty matchup. Hall into his stretch. Peering in, now has what he wants. The 1-2 swung on and popped out of play, foul onto the rooftop. And the count remains at 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Hall will rub up a new baseball, and we'll do it again. He is ahead in the count, 1-2. Gothberg steps out, the right-handed hitter steps back in, taps home plate. He's ready to go.
Jerry Silva, the right-hander, warming up in the Chicago State pen.
The tying run at first base in the form of Jake Atkinson. Good speed all around the base paths. The pitch. Breaking ball chopped up to the middle. This could be 2. Oh, it gets behind the shortstop into center field. 1 run will come in to score. 2 runs will come in to score, and it's a 1-run ball game. That was a chopper that took a little tough bounce by Quentin Alexander. He moved to his left near behind second base, and the ball squirted into center field. We'll see what they rule that. I think it has to be a hit. That one took a tough hop. Well, not a tough hop, but definitely an unexpected one, and a favorable hop for the Wolverines.
And just kind of one of those, Jordan, I like what you said there. It just took a late hop. So, Alexander's in good position to field that ball, and then the last second, it just happens as Andy Perkins steps in to pinch hit.
So here's Atkinson at second, Gothberg at pitch. Perkins swings at the first one, chopper to second. They'll go to 2. They got him, and that's all they'll get. So the runner, Atkinson, will head to third base on the fielder's choice. At first reaching is Andy Perkins.
And they're going to give Gothberg a two RBI single on that.
I think that's the right call. That giving Alexander an error on that play that wouldn't have been fair. So here is Grayson Bogdan. The tying run at third base, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2 men already in for the Wolverines. Runners on the corners. Hall still laboring. The pitch, breaking ball stays up high. It's 1-0.
And you got Andy Perkins, who has pretty good speed over at first, and you can tell Friend there the way he popped up quickly. They're kind of maybe expecting or being prepared for in case they try a double steal or something of the equivalent here.
Now a step, look to third, look to first, which in college baseball is legal. In Major League Baseball, that's a balk. That's no longer legal. However, just fine at the collegiate level. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, ground ball up the middle. Coming over is Alexander. He has it and will step on the bag. And after he steps on the bag, in frustration, he throws the ball down into the infield, and it rolls all the way to home plate after he's frustrated with that tough hop, which allowed 2 runs to score. The Wolverines making this a ball game, though. They scored 2 runs on 2 hits. They leave 2 stranded. We head to the top of the 6th inning. Chicago State 6, Utah Valley 5. You're listening to UVU Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. It will be 8-9-1 for Chicago State. Cody Friend, Quentin Alexander, and Jared Patterson to lead things, or to hit rather, in this top of the 6th. 6-5, Chicago State leads. Back out on the mound for the Wolverines, it's Kyle Valgarson. First pitch in for a strike, showing bunt, then pulling it back was the left-handed hitting Friend, 0-1 to him. So, 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th puts the Wolverines within 1 run. They trail 6-5. There's a fastball that misses in. Jumping out of the way there was Friend. Friend has a couple of RBIs on the night, no hits. Just a couple of ground outs that scored men at third. 1-1 pitch. Fastball misses down low, and it's 2-1.
And this is perfect for Utah Valley. You're in striking distance at this point. You don't need to make up a big deficit, but get 1 or 2 here, and you're right back in this. And now they're down 1.
That one fouled back and out of play over us, and the count's even at 2-2. The sun's setting, a beautiful night here in Orem, though it is chilly. The mountains with a purple hue beyond left and center field. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on, line drive, base hit into left field. A nice piece of hitting there by Friend. He'll round first base, stay there as Andrus comes up with it to left and relays it in. So Chicago State with the leadoff man on here in the 6th.
And that's a good piece of hitting. Just go the other way, makes good hard contact, and just comes up with a nice base hit as Quentin Alexander comes to the plate.
So here is Alexander. It looked like it was going to be an inning-ending double play off the bat of Spencer Gothberg back in the bottom of the 5th inning just moments ago, but the ball took a wicked hop past Alexander and it scored 2 runs. Here's a bunt, third base side, coming in to field it is Schlehuber, goes to first for the out. Nice play by Schlehuber as Alexander has speed up the line. But he does the job, and Friend is in scoring position with only 1 out.
And, I mean, a lot of people might think, especially, not, watching a ton of baseball, you might think, well, why do that? Well, now, you put the runner in scoring position. You're a base hit away from adding a run, and in a 1-run ball game like this, just getting that one additional run here or there can really make a big difference in the ball game.
So here, top of the order, here's Jared Patterson. Patterson 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Hitting from the right side, Valgartson working from the stretch. Glove on his left hip now, comes set, throws, swing and a miss. Out of fastball, and it's 0-1. Patterson, a .290 hitter this season. Holding the bill of his helmet with his right hand now. Both hands on the bat. Swings and misses. He chased a fastball away. A nice pitch there by Valgartson. Looked like it had some movement on it, late movement. And the count is quickly 0-2. A short lead at second by Friend now gets bigger. No one really holding him on. Fuller at second, shading him up the middle. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball just misses off the outside. A great 0-2 pitch there by Kyle Valgartson. A nice discipline at the plate from Jared Patterson to lay off it. A few more Wolverine fans have filed in here. They wanted that one a called strike, but a good call behind home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Valgartson checks the runner. Swing and a drive into center field. It's going to hang up there, though. Going back is Rainier, about 10 feet in front of the track. Tagging at third. Here comes a throw. Relay by Bogdan. He's safe at third base. So a nice job all around. A nice relay by Rainier to Bogdan to Schlehuber. And a nice job tagging up and getting to third. Cody Friend. That ball was hit to deep center field. 2 away now for Mattingly Romanen.
And if you're Chicago State, Romanen, your leading RBI guy on the season, he's got 15. And so this is the perfect situation you want with 2 outs. Try to get a base knock here, and you have 2 runs. Is your very good chance you might be heading to your bullpen in the bottom half of the inning.
Romanen 1 for 2 with a hit by pitch. First pitch is a fastball that misses away. And it's 1 ball, no strikes. A righty getting warm in the pen for Chicago State. The bullpen quiet for the Wolverines. The 1-0. Fastball up high, and now it's 2 balls, no strikes. Waiting on deck is Chase Matheson. Romanen, of course, hit the double down the third baseline back in the first inning. Part of that 4-run first inning for the Cougars as he fouls this one right off the rooftop above us, and it's 2-1 to him. Chicago State 6, Utah Valley 5. Each club with 6 hits. 2-1. Curveball right there. Strike 2.
Can tell that just froze Romanen there, and he just kind of looked and went, oh, there's the strike. Think he was expecting the fastball there from Valgartson.
Definitely, it froze him. Let's see what Valgartson comes with here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out, a man at third. The pitch, fastball swung and just getting a piece of it, fouling it back to the backstop was Romanen. So he's battling. Chicago State looking for that insurance run as they lead by just 1 in the 5th. Or I say the 5th, in the top of the 6th, rather. I beg your pardon. Everybody straight away for the Wolverines. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled away again. And a nice battle here between Romanen and Valgartson. Valgartson stares in, gets the sign from Atkinson. Now comes set. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses up high, and the count is full. Valgartson does have a base to work with. A runner on third. 2 out. Full count to Romanen. The pitch. That one swung on and lifted into left field. Coming over and to his right. He's going to dive and make the grab in left field. Kate Andrus saves a run. What a play by the Wolverine left fielder. That was a low sinking liner, and he had to get to it very quickly. Extended a full body dive toward the foul line, and he'll get a round of applause. A rambunctious one as he heads back to the dugout. So, Valgartson gets a little help, and the Wolverines keep the deficit at 1 run. We head to the bottom of the 6th, 6-5 Cougars. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Bottom half of the 6th inning here on WolverineGreen.com as Chicago State heads to the bullpen. They're going to go to the senior right-hander, Ian McNeil, the senior from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, comes into the ballgame. McNeil on the season, making his 5th appearance, a 4.66 ERA. No record as of now, 9 2/3 of an inning, 8 hits. 5 runs, all of which have been earned, 6 walks, 7 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .222 off him, and no easy task with Seth Rainier being the first batter he has to face.
Working straight from the stretch, McNeil throws a fastball at 84, misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes to Rainier. Rainier 0 for 2 tonight, lined out and grounded out. The Wolverines trail 6-5 in the bottom half of this 6th inning. The pitch. Fastball right there on the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Not a lot of velocity from McNeil. That one at 84, but really relies on hitting his spots. And boy, it looks like it's coming a lot faster than 84. Quick out of his hand. There's a breaking ball that falls in there for a strike at 77. Pretty curveball, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Seth Rainier.
He hides that curveball well, kind of brings that arm way back here, kind of pulls it back behind his back, and then kind of comes home and just kind of flips it out of his hand.
A quick delivery. Check swing, you went around, says the home plate umpire, Mike Whitty. So, Rainier down on strikes, and that brings up Jordan Schlehuber. Well, we ended last inning with Kate Andrus making a sensational play in left field. A ball that off the bat looked like to be a base hit and that would have scored a run for Chicago State. However, Kate Andrus had other plans. There's a curveball that falls in there. 0-1 the count to Schlehuber. It was a low liner down the left field line, and Andrus had to get to it quickly, dove toward the foul line, and made a sensational play. That ball misses down low. It's 1-1.
Yeah, I saw the ball hit off the bat out there, and I saw it going towards the line. I'm like, I don't think Andrus is going to get there. But he's not one that strikes should be fast.
Now a foul tip off the looks like the ankle or the shin of Schlehuber, and you know that one hurts because it caromed all the way almost to shortstop. Stayed in the infield grass, but that one will hurt, especially on a cold night like this. Schlehuber limping around. Now he looks to be all right. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Andrus is just quick, though, to kind of wrap that thought up. And I know that's something you and I talked about in between the break. That first couple steps he gets just allows him to fly.
It was kind of a looping liner, but that ball was hit so low, he had to read that ball perfectly off the bat, and he did. That was the only way he was going to get to it. 1-2 the count. Base is empty, 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Curveball stays up high, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Wolverines trailing 6-5 in the bottom half of the 6th inning here. Waiting on deck is Zach Fuller. He's had a nice night. 2-2 pitch. Schlehuber swings and lifts this one in. Base hit into right field. Just a blooper off the fish. Schlehuber will round first aggressively, but stay put there. Fielded in right field down the line by Hipchin. And in there with a 1-out single is Schlehuber. So a nice pitch, but a better job by Jordan Schlehuber of fighting it off and just kind of fisting that one into right field.
And again, I mean, one of those at-bats where, you know, you look at that and if you were to see that on a replay or on tape, you wouldn't be maybe like, oh, not the hardest hit ball. But sometimes it doesn't matter how hard you hit it as long as you get it where someone's not. And Schlehuber will take the hit any way he can get it.
So the tying run on for the Wolverines once again here in the 6th. Here's Fuller. Fuller has singled and doubled and scored 2 runs. The pitch. Fastball misses down low. 1-0 to the right-handed hitter. Fuller came into the ballgame batting .179, but he is getting hot. Seeing the ball much better, tonight at least. Short lead at first by Schlehuber, held on by Schmidt. The 1-0 pitch. Fuller takes it down and in, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Waiting on deck is, of course, the top of the order and Cade Andrus. A man on, a man out for the Wolverines. McNeil and the Cougars looking for that ground ball, double play. 2-0 pitch, now just a lob over to first base, letting Schlehuber know that he's there. McNeil, that is. Two balls, no strikes. McNeil comes set. He throws. Fastball, I believe, called for a strike. Count, 2 balls, 1 strike. Keeping 1 foot in the batter's box. Fuller steps out, looks into the dugout, gets the sign. Now ready to go. Now a snap throw over to first, kind of sidearm for McNeil. Back in standing with Schlehuber. Schlehuber this season is 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts. With 1 out, 2-1 count, the hit and run could be on. Let's see. The runner stays put. Here's the pitch. That one swung on, ground ball, base hit. Off the lip of the grass into left field. It was going to be a base hit either way. Right through that 5.5 hole, and there are 2 men on in the 6th for the top of the order in Cade Andrus.
And there's Zach Fuller again getting that 3rd hit of the night. Just a good outing, good series for Zach in that 9th spot. Has been good to see.
A nice job. So the go-ahead run now at first base, the tying run for the Wolverines at 2nd. Cade Andrus, who made the terrific defensive play in the top half of this 1st inning to save a run, now comes up and can only add to his nice night with an RBI single, or an RBI at all would tie the game here for the Wolverines. Wolverines have out-hit the Cougars 8-6. Schlehuber at 2nd, Fuller at 1st. The pitch to Andrus. He shows bunt. Pulls it back. Ball missed low, and it's 1-0. Mark Kruger waiting on deck, the big power left-handed hitter. Schlehuber, pretty good speed at 2nd. Fuller, great speed at 1st. As traffic trickles down University Parkway beyond center field here at Brent Brown Ballpark as the lights take full effect. Alexander playing behind the runner at short there. The 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled back to the screen, and it's 1-1. Andrus took a healthy hack at that one.
Yeah, and Cade Andrus, tonight has that sacrifice fly RBI. He's gotten out in his other 2 at-bats, but Andrus at the top of the lineup, one of those guys, he's going to take some pitches for you. He's going to work the count. He's going to do those things that a typical leadoff hitter needs to do in order to be successful.
Leadoff hitter with some pop, Andrus. The 1-1 pitch shows bunt again. This one gets away from the catcher up the first base line. The runners stay put as Friend did a nice job to keep that ball in front of him as it was rolling up the first base side. The count, though, 2 balls, 1 strike to Andrus. The game has slowed now as it's become tighter. The Wolverines took game 1 of this 3-game set last night. 2-1 pitch on the way. And it's inside a fastball that almost hit him. Andrus leaned out of the way. I thought it may have caught his jersey, but it did not. And the count's 3-1.
1 score to pass along. It's gone final in Seattle. Seattle 5, Sacramento State 2. So Seattle wins that series with Sacramento State.
They can go for the sweep tomorrow. Good hitters count here. 2 men on, a man out. Tying run at second for the Wolverines. We're in the 6th. The pitch swung on and lined foul down the left field line. And the count is 3-2.
You know, Cade would kind of like that one back, just to maybe wait a little bit longer on that and put that one down the left field line.
Stepping out of the box still, peering into that UVU dugout. Now has the sign. We'll see if the runners take off here with 1 out. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Cade Andrus. From the stretch, Ian McNeil. Comes set, chest high. Checks Schleichhuber at second. Now checks him again. The pitch. Swung on, little looper, base hit, and base hit into center field. Heading to third, the runners really had to stay put and freeze as Alexander fooled me and the runners. It looked like he was easily going to, it looks like a base hit off the bat. Then he squared up as if to say, I have this one, no problem, and it was over his head. So the runners move up just a base, and the bases are loaded for Mark Kruger.
And the one guy, if you're Chicago State, you don't want up in that batter's box in this situation is the man stepping in that box. Not only is he probably swinging the bat to the best that he's done all year long, but he's having a great series here too. And this is not the guy you want up in the batter's box. You got no place to put him.
So the middle infield will stay back for the Cougars. Chicago State's corner infielders will come in. The Wolverines do not need a hit to tie this game. Bases loaded, 1 out. Mark Kruger at the plate. The pitch. Fastball away. 1 ball, no strikes. Kruger, in his last 2 at-bats, has seen 8 balls, no strikes. He's scored each of those times he's reached base. Big at-bat here. Nowhere to put him. 6-5, Chicago State leads. 1-0 pitch. Misses away. 2-0.
I mean, I see it. I guess if you're gonna pitch around a guy or give him a pitch he can't really hit, I don't know why you're pitching around him in this situation, but you'd rather miss too far outside than take the chance of missing middle in and, give one to Kruger right down Broadway.
Absolutely. I don't think they're pitching around him, but definitely being careful. 2-0 pitch coming. Kruger takes it inside. It's 3-0, and he'll certainly be taking here as McNeil steps off the back of the mound and takes a moment to compose himself. A walk here would mean a tie ball game. There's nowhere to put Mark Kruger. Go ahead, Ryan.
Silva quickly getting loose in the bullpen.
As the crowd gets into it. 3-0 pitch. Fastball. Caught the outside corner, and it's 3-1. Boy, he didn't really pour that one in. That one right there on the outside corner. Not a tough take for Kruger. 3-1. Bases loaded. Wolverines down 1. Kruger swings and misses a mighty cut out of fastball, and the count is full.
He was trying to hit that out onto University Parkway, if not out to I-15. I mean, he took a big cut there. Unfortunately, the bigger the cut you take, the harder it is sometimes to make contact. Just swung through it.
Atkinson waiting on deck. 1 out in the inning. Full count to Kruger. McNeil from the stretch. He delivers. Down low. He walked him, and the ball game is tied. A fastball that missed down and in, not close. A very easy take for Kruger. He'll pick up an RBI, and we're tied at 6. The bases still loaded. 1 out now for Jake Atkinson.
And I mean, this is one of those situations we talked about. Kyle Valgardson's performance now has been so key because now, I mean, he's kept Chicago State off the scoreboard, and now you have a chance here to take the lead. And you only have one out, and with the way Jake Atkinson's been able to find his way on base here, a golden opportunity to try to push that run home.
Yeah, coming in to score there was Jordan Schlehuber, and we're going to have a change here. New righty coming in for Chicago State. He'll try to put out the fire. The Wolverines with the bases loaded and only one out. We're tied at 6th in the bottom of the 6th inning. Take a break here on WolverineGreen.com. We'll be right back. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Here on WolverineGreen.com, a golden opportunity for Utah Valley to take control of this one. Bases loaded and one out. And the Cougars make a call to the bullpen. They're going to go to number 9, Jerry Silva. Silva making his 14th appearance on the year, 15 2/3 of an inning, 23 hits, 9 runs, all of which have been earned, 4 walks and 8 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .348 off the senior from Chicago, Illinois. So you have a pitcher coming in who opponents are hitting .348. Jake Atkinson, who's been hitting pretty well here in this series. Golden opportunity, Jordan, for the Wolverines to cash in here.
Absolutely. The Wolverines don't even need a hit to take the lead with the bases loaded and only one out. Atkinson this evening has tripled in 2 runs back in the 3rd. He's also reached base on a walk, and he's popped up. So 1 for 2 officially. Atkinson, the right-handed hitter, the righty, Silva out there on the mound. Kruger at first base, Andrus at second, Fuller at third. 6-6 here in the 6th. Already 1 run in for the Wolverines. Silva will work from the stretch. He throws. Ball misses inside, a breaking ball, and it's 1-0 to Jake Atkinson. Spencer Gothberg, the man on deck. Atkinson, the right-handed hitter, bent at the knees, trying to stay loose at the plate, moving that bat. Now comes set, the pitch. Curveball stays up high, and it's 2-0. The bases are loaded, and stepping off the back of the mound is Silva. Chicago State has already walked in 1 run this inning to tie the ball game. They're in danger of walking in another run to give up the lead. 2 balls, no strikes. The delivery. Down in the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher. Friend, he does a nice job to recover, though. Pouncing to his right, getting that ball, but it's 3-0. So now everyone in the ballpark, Silva included, I should say, knows that Atkinson will be taking. Interesting here, Eric Mattson will come out just to the on-deck circle and have a word with Spencer Gothberg, then head back inside the dugout. So 3 balls, no strikes. The pitch, fastball right there. And it's 3-1.
It's got to be hard sometimes, the hitter in that 3-0 situation, knowing, okay, I'm going to get a fastball, probably down the middle, but I'm supposed to take.
Yeah. You don't want to pull the trigger there.
No.
3 balls, 1 strike. The pitch. Swung on ground ball to the third baseman. This could be 2. Goes to second. Turn to first. He's out! And Chicago State gets out of the jam. 1 out, bases loaded, and a 5-4-3 double play turned. What a ball game this has been. So the Wolverines leave a man stranded. However, they do get a run and tie this game up, but they waste a bases loaded golden opportunity we head to the top of the 7th. We're tied at 6. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. We're tied at 6 as we head to the top of the 7th here. Kyle Valgartson back on to pitch for the Wolverines. He will face Chase Matheson, Andy Gertensen, and Sanford Hunt in this top of the 7th. And to tell you all about it, here's Ryan Pickens.
Thank you, Jordan, as we begin play in a tied 6-6 ball game here on WolverineGreen.com. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Cougars. Chase Matheson, the first man to stand in, and Valgartson starts him off with a fastball in at the knees at 85 miles an hour, and it's 0-1. It'll be Matheson, Gertensen, and Hunt coming up. No balls and 1 strike. The kick and the delivery comes home, swung on and popped up into the right side. It's going to be Kruger out and right. He finds it and makes the play, 1 away. So a routine fly ball for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up third baseman Andy Gertensen. Gertensen has grounded out, struck out, and walked, and did come around in that first inning to score 1 of the 4 runs for Chicago State. Valgartson set here from the windup and kicks and delivers home the first pitch, and that's swung on by Gertensen and fouled away, and it's no balls and a strike. Top of the 7th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Nice night for baseball, a little more warmer than it was this time last night. The 0-1 pitch misses inside for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Game 3 of this 3-game series tomorrow, 11 a.m. here at Brent Brown Ballpark. That will also be here on WolverineGreen.com as Gertensen pops that one up down the line. Gothberg going to give it a look, and looks like he's going to run out of room, and it will take the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes on the cleanup hitting third baseman for Chicago State. Gertensen stands back in the box here. 1-2 count will be coming here as outfield playing straight away on Gertensen. Valgartson kicks and delivers home. The pitch comes, and a good job by Gertensen there. It looked like he started to go, and then able to hold up his swing. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Valgartson, a quick worker on the mound, gets the ball right back again from Jake Atkinson, gets the sign and delivers home the 2-2 pitch. That one misses low and away, ball 3, and the count runs full. So after Valgartson was ahead 1-2, 2 straight balls now make it 3-2. So the count's full on Gertensen, hitting .298 on the season. And the 3-2 pitch on its way. Called strike 3! A delayed call from home plate umpire Mike Whitty. And he rung up there Andy Gertensen. The second strikeout of the night for Kyle Valgartson, and 2 outs for Sanford Hunt. Hunt getting the start at designated hitter. Came in later in the ball game last night to pinch hit in the 7th inning. And Hunt takes high with the fastball at 88 miles an hour, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Hunt has an RBI single back in the first, a strikeout and a fly out to center. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch comes home, and Hunt swings and fouls that one back. That will head off towards the parking lot that sits behind the main concourse here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Hunt, a sophomore from Chicago, Illinois. Stands in, the 1-1 pitch on its way. Swung on, that one's hit well to left. Cade Andrus is there, under it, and makes the play. So Chicago State goes 1-2-3 in the 7th. It's time here at Brent Brown Ballpark to stand and stretch for the 7th inning stretch here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Wolverines coming up in the bottom half of the inning. Spencer Gothberg looks to see if he can't help Utah Valley take the lead. You're watching Wolverine Baseball here on WolverineGreen.com. Start of the 7th inning, bottom of the 7th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. It's going to be 4, 5, and 6. Spencer Gothberg to lead it off. Then the designated hitter spot, which Andy Perkins has moved into that spot. And then it's going to be Grayson Bogdan. They'll go up against the right-hander, Jerry Silva, who will conclude his first inning of work. He came in the bottom half of the inning to get the final 2 outs, that double play ball, and the first pitch is a breaking ball into Gothberg. No balls and a strike. Gothberg had a 2-run single in the 5th to tie this ball game or bring it back closer. Utah Valley is still down to 1 after the 2-run single, and that one misses away, and it evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Gothberg stands in. 1-1 count, and the kick and the delivery coming home from Silva, and that pitch just misses low below the knees, and it's 2 balls and a strike. The right-hander working here from the windup, kicks and delivers home the 2-1 pitch, and that one misses low again, ball 3. So 3 balls and a strike on Gothberg, and a good fastball count for Spencer Gothberg here. Should see a pretty good pitch. We'll check the out-of-town scoreboard here in the bottom of the 7th, and the 3-1 pitch on its way. Gothberg swings and rolls that one foul over to Cooper Fouts in the third base coaching box, and he even makes the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. One final today, Bakersfield taking down North Dakota 12-1. That one, a game that was played earlier today. We told you earlier, Seattle beating Sacramento State 5-2. A 3-2 pitch comes inside and low. Called strike 3. And Gothberg down on strikes. So the first strikeout of the game for Silva, that slow breaking ball, comes in on the inside corner and freezes Gothberg. And now with 1 away, Andy Perkins will come to the plate. Perkins hit back in the 5th inning and reached on a fielder's choice and then got retired later on in that inning on the base pass, and the first pitch to Perkins misses low and inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Perkins, a freshman out of Spanish Fork, Utah, and the 1-0 pitch on its way. Bunt showdown, lays it down the third baseline, but it goes foul. It kind of hit the lip of the grass in the dirt, and that just kind of escalated the ball foul. Had he kept it on the grass, it would have been a nice bunt. It would have made Gertensen have to come in and make a good play. But we'll do a 1-1 pitch, and Gertensen starts pretty deep there in the third base and then slowly kind of creeps up. He's about 2 or 3 steps behind, and now slowly kind of takes 1 step and will slowly begin to charge up as that pitch comes home. The 1-1 pitch on a way, breaking ball. That one goes off the glove of Friend into the backstop, so 2 balls and 1 strike to Perkins. Perkins hitting .250, 5 for 20, his first 20 at-bats of the season. has seen some time as in that starting lineup, but it's also gone out at times and came in as a substitution. The 1-1 pitch, and that one comes low once again with the fastball, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Silva not necessarily overpowering. He's going to stay in that upper 70s, touch the low 80s here and now and then. And the 2-1 pitch on the way coming home, and there's a called strike with the breaking ball, and it makes the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Silva once again ready to go. The pitch comes home, and Perkins going to ground that one to second. Romanin's there, and his throw to first in time. There's 2 away here in the 7th. So a routine ground ball, and with 2 outs, Grayson Bogdan will look to try to get something started for Utah Valley. Bogdan's reached on a fielder's choice, had a single in the 4th, and went down swinging back in the 2nd. As we're tied at 6 here in the bottom of the 7th inning, Chicago State in town, game 2 of a 3-game series. Game 3 coming to you tomorrow morning. As Bogdan lays a bunt down the third baseline, it's going to be a tough play. Friend's going to throw it, and I think he just held on to it, which is a very smart move as Bogdan was flying up the line, and Grayson Bogdan has himself a 2-out base hit on the bunt, and now that brings it up to Seth Rainier. Rainier having a tough night, 0 for 3, kind of struggling in the series. Last night for Utah Valley, Rainier had a single in the 6th, but other than that, had a walk and a run scored, but other than that, just had the 1 hit on the night. He shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes it away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes on Seth Rainier. Jordan Schlehuber on deck for Utah Valley. Bogdan, the runner, over at first, gets his lead. Silva set. From the stretch, delivers home, and that one swung out and popped up in the right. Going back is Hipchin in right. He is there, and he'll make the catch just into foul territory, and the inning comes to an end. So Grayson Bogdan gets on with the bunt single, but they strand him on first at the end of 7 here from Utah Valley University. We're tied at 6 between Chicago State and your Utah Valley Wolverines right here on WolverineGreen.com. A big difference here on WolverineGreen.com between the game last night, which Utah Valley won 16-3. Tonight, a little bit different story. Tied at 6 here as we head to the 8th inning, and it's Matt Schmidt, Chris Hipchin, and Cody Friend coming up here for the Cougars against Kyle Valgartson. And the first pitch, a fastball that goes low and inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes the count. Schmidt with an RBI single back in the first, a triple, and a strikeout on the night. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch comes home. That one's lined out to right. Kruger's not going to get there. And on with a leadoff single is Matt Schmidt. So Schmidt gets a nice leadoff single. Chicago State looking to try to see here if they can't score late in this one. And now that's going to bring up right fielder Chris Hipchin. Hipchin has walked, lined out, and flew out to center. And so a big opportunity here, and we'll see if Chicago State lays down a bunt and tries to move that leading run into scoring position. Schlehuber seems to think that is a good opportunity as he's playing pretty much even with the grass. Bunt is being shown. Hipchin lays it down to first, and Gothberg's going to take it to first himself, and there's 1 away. So the sacrifice bunt works as Matt Schmidt moves down to second base, and so Chicago State with a runner in scoring position with 1 away for Cody Friend. Friend had an RBI ground out in the first and also singled back in the sixth, looking here to try to see if he can't give Chicago State a 1-run lead. Bottom half of the inning, it's going to be Schlehuber, Fuller, and Andrus coming up. As Valgartson looks like he came off the mound here really quick, and now a conference will be held between Bogdan Atkinson and the pitcher Valgartson, and now that will break up. Atkinson will head behind home plate. Valgartson has pitched well tonight. He's gone 3 1/3, only allowed 2 hits and with 2 strikeouts. He's got Cody Friend at the plate with 1 away. The kick and the delivery, and that one swung on by Friend and fouled away, and it'll be no balls and a strike on the Cougar catcher. Quentin Alexander, the shortstop, on deck. No balls and 1 strike. Valgartson here working from the stretch. Looks into Jake Atkinson behind home plate. Kicks and delivers home. That one swung on and fouled away, and it's 0-2 now on Cody Friend. So one thing Valgartson's done really well tonight, when he's come in the ballgame, he has kept getting ahead of hitters, hasn't worked from behind very much as some action begins to get loose in the Chicago State bullpen. A right-hander now getting loose down there. No balls and 2 strikes. The kick and the delivery comes. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Valgartson gets his 3rd strikeout of the night. And there's 2 outs here in the 8th inning for Quentin Alexander. So once again, Chicago State getting a runner on, and Kyle Valgartson closing the door as Quentin Alexander steps in, 0 for 2 officially on the night with a sacrifice back in the 6th. Alexander hitting in the 9th spot, was a little bit further up last night, hitting in the 6th spot in Coach Steve Jocelyn's lineup. Tonight in the 9 hole. And with 2 outs, he steps in. Valgartson kicks and delivers first pitch, misses with the fastball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Utah Valley, if you're the Wolverines in the bottom half of the 8th, you have to like getting Schlehuber, Fuller, and Andrus up. Probably 2 of your hotter hitters in Zach Fuller and Cade Andrus. And then Kruger would be up 4th. So you have to like the idea of having that part of your lineup coming up. The 1-0 pitch, that one paints the outside corner and evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield playing pretty straight away. Big hole off in right center. Kruger's probably playing a little more over toward the line. Fuller shaded up much more towards second base. 1 ball and 1 strike. The kick and the delivery comes home. That one's going to get past Atkinson, and moving down to third base is Matt Schmidt. So Schmidt quickly taking the extra base, and now a 2-1 count, and the runner, the leading run for Chicago State, is now only 90 feet away. Infield will move back into regular depth. Bogdan playing a step or 2 on the grass at short. Valgartson working from the stretch, looking for that big final out of the 8th inning. Valgartson looks in, gets the sign from Atkinson behind home plate. Kicks and delivers the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled away, and the count will go even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Utah Valley on the road Tuesday night. They'll be over at BYU for a 6 o'clock first pitch, and then back home for Sacramento State next weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. First pitch on Friday and Saturday scheduled for 6 and a noon on Sunday. The 2-2 pitch on its way, misses away with the fastball, and now the count runs full 3-2. So if you do walk Alexander here, you do have first base open, but you also have to go back to the top of the Chicago State lineup and Jared Patterson. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Valgartson taking a long look in to get the sign from Atkinson. The 3-2 pitch on its way, right on the outside corner and off the plate for ball 4. And Quentin Alexander's on with a 2-out walk, and now we bring up Jared Patterson. So runners are on the corners here with 2 outs. And Patterson, the leadoff man for Chicago State, has grounded out to short, flown out to center, and walked tonight. Had 3 walks in the game last night, so he has 4 walks through the first couple games of this series, and doing those things, again, a leadoff hitter wants to do. Take a lot of pitches, find a way to get on base, and then come around and score. Patterson adjusting his batting gloves in that right-handed hitting batter's box, now steps in. Gothberg going to hold Alexander on at first. Alexander might be going, and the first pitch he's not. It's a fastball high, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. On the season, Alexander and the top of that lineup is 2 for 2 in stolen base attempts. So he hasn't ran a ton for Chicago State, but when he has, he's been able to steal that bag. The 1-0 pitch and the throw over, almost falling off the bag there was Alexander. He was just able to keep that foot there on the base path. Had he come off the bag, Gothberg could have applied the tag. Alexander appears to be okay, and now we'll get his lead over at first. 1-0 count on the way. Pitch comes, and Patterson swings and fouls that one back, and it's 1-1. Couple of other scores throughout the WAC. Northern Colorado leading New Mexico State 7-1. That's in the bottom of the 6th in Las Cruces. And Grand Canyon leading the University of Texas Pan American 4-1, bottom of the 2nd down in Arizona. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Valgartson working from the stretch, and the delivery comes. That one low and away, and makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. So a full slate of WAC games going on tonight throughout the Western Athletic Conference. 2 balls and 1 strike. Runners get their lead here on the corners. Valgartson ready to go. The 2-1 home. Swung on and a fly ball hit to center. Getting back is Seth Rainier. He is there. He makes the catch. And Chicago State will strand 2. So the Cougars get a couple men on but can't produce a run. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Utah Valley looking to take the lead. We'll see if the 8, 9, and 1 spots. Jordan Schlehuber leads it off for the Wolverines right after the break on WolverineGreen.com. Back here on WolverineGreen.com, we start the bottom of the 8th inning. Utah Valley needs 1 to take the lead here in the 8th. Of course, there would be no complaints if they could get 2 or 3 and provide plenty of run support as some action starts to get loose down in the Wolverine bullpen. 8, 9, and 1, Jordan Schlehuber, Zach Fuller, and Cade Andrus coming up. And the first pitch is a breaking ball from Silva that gets in there for a strike. Schlehuber's been on twice tonight, a single in the 6th and a walk back in the 3rd. He has scored both times that he's gotten on. There's a breaking ball that misses away, and it evens the count here at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Silva, the right-hander, kicks and delivers, and that one's off the plate for a ball, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Schlehuber here willing to be patient, willing to try to find his way on via the walk or a base hit. Right now the important thing is getting a base runner. The 2-1 pitch, and that one hits the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 2-2. Schlehuber there throwing the bat head and then holding up, but the pitch was a called strike on that outer corner, and now it's 2-2. Silva set, kicks, and delivers the 2-2 pitch. That one low and inside, ball 3, and the count runs full. So Silva doing kind of the slide step as he comes home, just kind of slides his foot across that pitcher's mound as he comes home to deliver. So 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. Schlehuber set in the box. Silva delivers the 3-2. And that one swung on and popped up high into the night sky. And coming in is Patterson from center field, and he'll make the play. There's one away. That one was just hit high into the air. And with 1 out, Zach Fuller is going to come to the plate. And for Utah Valley, Fuller on the day has 2 singles and a double. And so needing to get a base runner here, now is exactly the time you want a man like Zach Fuller to come up to the plate. Fuller wears number 8 out of Kaysville, Utah. Prepped at Davis High. And the first pitch comes in. That one misses away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Some action going down. A righty and a lefty now getting loose for Utah Valley. Try to see if we can get names and numbers for you. The 1-0 pitch on its way home. Fuller swings and comes up empty, and it evens the count at 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. On deck, it's Cade Andrus. Utah Valley trying to break through with that 1 run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Silva, the right-hander. Looking in, gets the sign from Friend, and now time's called as Fuller will take a step out of the batter's box. The green uniforms tonight, with kind of the green lettering with just the white outline, can make it kind of hard from up here to look down and see exactly what the number is. Chicago State's even tough to read because they're wearing the black tops with the green numbers with white trim. Or kind of, maybe not even a white, kind of like a grayish trim. And so either way, it can be hard at times from here, even with we're using binoculars tonight. But we still have a hard time seeing it sometimes, and that one comes low, and it's 2 balls and a strike. I want to say one of them is Braden Poole from the delivery, but I try to see who the right-hander is. And the 2-1 pitch, that one's going to be fouled away, and evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fuller just kind of touching it here. You know, you get halfway through the season, you can start to tell by delivery. Trying to think of who has that delivery on Utah Valley. Is that Logan Hold by chance, 29? As Eric Olguin, 28. So, you know, 1 number off, but I'll give myself a valiant effort on that. 2-2 pitch. Fuller is going to ground it to second. Romanin is there in his throw in time. There's 2 outs here in the 8th inning. So at 2 outs, we go back to the top of the lineup in Cade Andrus as some action goes in the Chicago State bullpen as well. As Jordan Stroshine gets loose, the senior from Marion, Iowa, plays outfield. I didn't know he pitched as well. So the first pitch to Cade Andrus coming home, and there's looks like maybe a little high and inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, you got to be careful with Cade Andrus here. He could put the Wolverines ahead with 1 swing of the bat.
1 ball and no strikes. The kick and the delivery on its way. Breaking ball, and that one's in there at the knees, and it's 1-1. Andrus a fly out tonight, a sacrifice fly as well, and a single in his last at bat in the 6th. 1-1 pitch. Andrus swings and pops that one up into center field. Patterson is there, and he will make the play, and the 8th inning comes to an end. So we remain tied at 6 at the end of 8 from Brent Brown Ballpark. We head to the 9th. It's Chicago State 6 and the Utah Valley Wolverine 6. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. We head to the top of the 9th inning here on WolverineGreen.com as we're at Brent Brown Ballpark. I almost mixed those two up there for a second. As right now, an opportunity for Chicago State to try to come through and take the lead, and they'll have 2, 3, and 4. Mattingly Romanin to lead it off, and to tell you all about everything, my great colleague in the booth, the great Jordan Bianucci.
First pitch, fastball called for a strike. It's 0-1. Geez, that's a lot to live up to, Ryan. I don't know. I was thinking in between innings. You know who I miss around here is Ryan Evans. He's on the team, really great guy, all-around guy. I was just thinking, just out of the blue, I thought I'd shout out to Ryan Evans. That ball fouled back to the screen. 0-2 now to Mattingly Romanin. No, Ryan sent me a tweet, and he said, it's been 8 innings. I've yet to hear you say you miss me. That's fair. I should have mentioned it much. I should start the broadcast with that.
I saw
ball misses. Sorry, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I saw Ryan play last year, and the interesting thing was, he maybe didn't have like 100%, like always going to go out there and give you 9, but he always came up with that. Seems like that clutch performance just when you needed it.
I couldn't disagree with you more on the first point. I think Ryan could have gone 9, 10, 11. I think we got to take that up with Dave Carter. He could have gone he's Ryan Evans. He had the endurance of a Cy Young, in my opinion. Why did he win 500 games? No, but you can't control everything.
To win 500 games in college baseball, you'd either have to have like 20 years of eligibility or
the arm of Ryan Evans.
Yeah.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That one fouled away. I hope that suffices, Ryan. I hope he's still listening to the broadcast. A battle going on here, though, between Valgartson and Romanin. Valgartson working from the windup. Tied at 6 here, top of the 9th inning. It's been a good ball game. This one swung on, fouled back again. We had Braden Poole and O'Gean getting warm in that pen for UVU. They have since headed back to the dugout. Romanin trying to get on. He's the leadoff man here. Nobody out in the top of the 9th. 1-2 pitch. That one lifted into left field. Line drive coming over is Andrus. Andrus, it's going to fall. 1 hop in front of him. He'll play it. Throw it into second base. In there with a leadoff single is Romanin. And Chicago State has a man on to begin the 9th.
And quickly, once again, action starts to go in that Utah Valley bullpen here. As maybe just making sure here they have people ready to go if this kind of maybe gets away a little bit from Kyle Valgartson. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Valgartson tonight's pitched well, especially with men on base, but you'd like to see that here.
He'll face Chase Matheson with a man on first base. Tie game. A man on, nobody out here. The pitch. Runner takes off. Bunt shown. Throw down to second. He's out! A belated call, and here comes the head coach sprinting out of the dugout. Steve Joslin for Chicago State, and he was beside himself. He doesn't know how that was called out. It was called the third base umpire, I should say. Frank Flugart made the call, and he waited a while. It was a nice throw, maybe a little to the left of the bag by Atkinson. However, putting on the tag Bogdan, it seemed that he held the tag on, and the runner may have come off the bag. And that's when that was either the case, or he was waiting to see if Bogdan had the ball in his glove.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking, because the umpire was on the right side of the second base bag, and then when they go to make the call, he comes onto the left side to kind of look and kind of peered his head down. So I think he was checking one of those two things. Probably, I'm thinking with the slide, maybe to see if Bogdan still had control, because the slide came right into the glove there.
But a huge play and a big break for UVU, as now the bases are empty with 1 out. Dave Carter will head out to the mound, have a quick word with Valgartson, who has pitched very, very well in relief. Came back in the 5th inning in relief. Has given up 3 hits, and no runs.
just the kind of performance you wanted after, Kofor struggles in the first. You have to go to your bullpen early to say, okay, Kyle, please go give us 4 or 5.
So now with the bases empty and a 1-0 count, he fires in a fastball that misses up high to Matheson, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. We're all knotted up at 6, top of the 9th, UVU, Chicago State. Whack baseball. That one swung on, lifted high in the ballpark. Coming in, and to his left is Rainier. Will make the grab in front of the 388 marker, about 25 feet in from there. And they're 2 away, so that caught stealing. If you can get Gertensen, who's coming up now, is a huge play as Matheson goes down weakly on a fly ball.
Kyle Valgartson's pitched so well tonight. You're just kind of, every time the Wolverines come up, and if they can get Gertson here, they have a chance to come up, score, and win the ball game. He's pitched so well, you just want to give him that win.
Valgartson pitches. This one swung on by Gertensen going back and deep, and just on the track, making the grab is Cade Andrus, and the inning is over just like that. That ball hit well to left center, but Andrus was on his horse and made it look fairly easy. So we will head to the bottom of the 9th, all tied up at 6. For Utah Valley, it'll be Mark Kruger, Jake Atkinson, and Spencer Gothberg, 2, 3, and 4. You're listening to Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Chicago State 6, Utah Valley 6 as we head to the bottom of the 9th. And 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Wolverines. And there's really no one you'd rather have up there than Mark Kruger to lead things off. Hit a home run last night and has had a nice night at the plate tonight as far as reaching base. He's walked twice, or rather walked 3 times. Has an RBI, singled back in the first as well.
Just a good part of your lineup coming up. There are a lot of guys there. Kruger, Atkinson's had some good at-bats here in this series. And that's really what you're looking for. You're looking for guys to go up there and give you good at-bats in this point. Yeah, you'd love to see Mark Kruger here win it with 1 swing of the bat, but really just finding a way to get on base is what you'd like to see as well.
First pitch from Silva, a curveball, misses just off the plate outside. 1 ball, no strikes to Kruger. That's 9 straight balls he's seen, by the way. 1 ball, no strike pitch, misses up, and it's 2-0.
And so right now,
Kruger has not seen a lot of pitches in the strike zone this evening.
I'm not going to lie, right now with the command that Chicago State's had, if I'm Kruger, if I get a good pitch, great, but I'm going to make him throw me strikes here.
2-0 pitch swung on and fouled off to the left side, out of play. It'll get onto the berm beyond the third base dugout, and the count is 2-1. Following Kruger, it'll be Jake Atkinson and Spencer Gothberg. 1 run, and the ball game is over. We're all tied up at 6 in the bottom of the 9th. The right-hander, Jerry Silva, working from the windup on the mound for the Cougars. He kicks, he throws. Fastball misses way away, and it's 3-1. So a great hitter's count, I should say, for Kruger. Silva, I imagine, will be very careful here. Doesn't want to walk. Kruger doesn't want to put the winning run on base. 3-1 swung on and chopped foul first base side, and the count is full. But to complete that thought, but at the same time does not want to throw a fastball down the middle for Kruger to tee off on and Pretty good pitch. Kruger fought it off, and the count is full.
And that's really where getting ahead in the count is. I mean, honestly, Silva didn't want to go 2-1, 3-1, where you kind of go, I have to put one over the plate. Well, I'm going to go with my fastball.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. A foul tip into the glove, rather, of Cody Friend, and Kruger went chasing out of the strike zone there. A ball a little outside, and there's one away in the ninth. That will bring up Jake Atkinson. Atkinson tripled 2 runs home back in the 3rd inning. And now the catcher, Cody Friend, the freshman, peering into the dugout and kind of shouting, "What?" Somebody trying to get his attention down there. The pitch. Curveball misses down low, and it's 1 ball, no strikes to the right-handed hitting UVU catcher.
I don't let Jake Atkinson's 214 batting average fool you. This guy, I mean, he does have the 1 home run he hit, or 2 home runs on the year.
1-0 pitch, misses away, 2-0.
But he's having good at-bats right now, and that's just something to keep. I know I've mentioned that here a couple times here in the 8th and 9th inning, but that's really what you want to start it off with, is a good at-bat.
Everybody straight away for the Cougars. 2-0 pitch. Misses outside again, and it's 3-0. And just as you were saying, Ryan, a walk here is just as good as a single, really. 3-0 pitch. Right in there, poured in there for a strike, and it's 3-1. Silva, again, not a lot of velocity. That one at 78, but moving the ball around, trying to paint those corners. Has yet to really miss down the middle with a pitch. The 3-1 on the way. That one's way outside. And Atkinson coaxes the walk, and the winning run is on for Utah Valley. And here comes Spencer Gothberg.
Have to wonder here if maybe Eric Madsen won't consider getting some speed out there with Jake Atkinson. I don't see anybody yet, but you know, it's a thought that a lot of coaches would have in this situation is let's get some of the speed off the bench, but you also don't want to necessarily lose your number 3 hitter and your catcher, Jake Atkinson.
And Atkinson has been so good behind home plate. Atkinson he's not Molina slow, I should say. Maybe that's a term that we can work into the vernacular. He's held on over there at first base. The pitch to Gothberg. He takes the ball down and away, and having a hard time finding that strike zone now is Silva. A right-hander, or actually maybe a left-hander, just getting loose. Somebody starting to get loose down in that bullpen for the Cougars.
Still think that's Jordan Stroshine, number 23. Last time I checked, it was Stroshine anyway.
Playing about even with the bag at third is Gertensen. Short lead at first for Atkinson. Pitch called a strike. That one just about knee high, and it's 1-1. So Gothberg, the right-handed hitter, trying to prolong the rally. Cougars 6, Wolverines 6, bottom of the ninth. Man on first, man out. The pitch. Swung on, ground ball up the middle, into center field, past the diving shortstop Alexander. Stopping at second, as that ball was hit very hard. No chance to go first to third for Atkinson. So he'll hold up at second base. He's in scoring position. Gothberg comes up with the single. And here is Andy Perkins. And to tell you how Quentin Alexander feels about tonight at shortstop for Chicago State, that ball got past him, and he just laid there on the ground, face down. Frustrated. He's had a couple tough defensive plays, a couple hops, one blooper that went over his head that he seemed to, well, at least looked like he had, and then misplayed. But we're going to have a trip to the mound here.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised here. You got the winning run on second base. You get Perkins coming up, and then, then you got to deal with Grayson Bogdan and Seth Rainier, both some veteran hitters. And, Bogdan's a guy right now that's swinging a hot bat, too, in this Utah Valley lineup. So, I don't know really if you're Chicago State. It's kind of pick your poison at this point, whether you want to face, Bogdan. I'm sure they want to face Andy Perkins, but it's going to be interesting here to see exactly how they play this. Won't surprise me here if the pitcher waits for the umpire to come out to the mound and then makes the change.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Perkins, not a lot of at-bats on the season. He's 5 for 21, hitting .238, and they are going to go to the man in the pen, the right-hander coming out. They want Perkins they'll try and keep the ball low, get him to ground into an inning-ending double play. But the Wolverines are threatening in the bottom of the ninth. The game is tied 6-6 with runners on first and second. We'll take a quick break here on WolverineGreen.com and be right back after this.
A golden opportunity here for a walk-off win for Utah Valley, but they'll have to do it against a new pitcher for Chicago State. They're going to go to the senior from Huntley, Illinois, Nick Kostalik out of the bullpen. Kostalik on the year, making his 13th appearance, a 2.35 ERA, 2 saves on the year in 15 and a third innings, 20 hits, 7 runs, 4 earned, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .303 off of him, so a good batting average against, but in college baseball, it's relatively common to have people hit 300 off pitchers, and now he'll get to face Andy Perkins, so you have the right-handed pitcher going up against the left-handed hitter. You've mentioned it, Jordan. Perkins, not a ton of at-bats, but he's had some solid at-bats this year, and when he makes contact with the baseball, it seems like stuff works out pretty well for him.
Atkinson with okay speed at second base, maybe a little better than okay speed. The runner at first really doesn't matter other than playing into a double play ball. Perkins, the left-handed hitter, facing Kostalik on the mound. He bent at the waist, peering in. Now steps off the rubber, unable to agree on what to throw. Perkins, pinch hit back in the 5th. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Now time taken by Perkins at home plate. Atkinson at second base. Gothberg at first. This inning began with a Mark Kruger strikeout, followed by a walk and a single. The pitch to Perkins. Breaking ball just catches the outside corner, a beauty at 71 miles an hour. No balls, 1 strike to count.
And you have to think here that Kostalik probably going to stay low and away to try to get that ground ball to short.
The 1 strike pitch coming. Now stepping off the rubber and looking Atkinson back to second base is Kostalik. 6-6, bottom of the 9th. 2 men on, a man out. The Wolverines looking to win this one in comeback fashion. That one swung on. Little blooper into center field. This could do it. They're going to wave him home. Backhanded in the outfield, and the ball game is over. The Wolverines win it as Atkinson comes in to score, and the Wolverines come pouring out of the dugout and mob Perkins near second base. And they take game 2 of this series in dramatic fashion.
Again, like we said, Andy Perkins, when he makes good contact, it tends to work out well for him. And that's exactly what he does right there. He just makes good contact on one. Again, you don't have to hit the ball really hard there. In fact, a lot of coaches probably say you don't want to hit it too hard in that situation where they can quickly get it in. It just sits on the outfield, and you're able to score. Atkinson was going to score easily on that one there. And just a great job of clutch hitting for Utah Valley. They win the series. Tomorrow they can go for the sweep.
Yeah, just a line drive into left center field and deep enough where the center fielder, or rather the Matheson coming over to backhand it from left, could not make a play on it. And Jake Atkinson showed some wheels there from second, scoring easily. So the Wolverines showing some gumption tonight after falling down 5-0. They come back and win it by a score of 7-6 in walk-off fashion. Walk-off fashion, I beg your pardon. What a ball game. We will take a break here on WolverineGreen.com and come back with the Wolverine Green postgame show. Once again, the Wolverines win this one over Chicago State by a final of 7-6. We'll be back with our postgame commentary after this.
Jordan, we'll see you, bud. See you guys. Take care.
Back here on WolverineGreen.com, Jordan Bianucci alongside Ryan Pickens, and we welcome you into the Wolverine Green postgame show as the Wolverines break up their little conference with the coaching staff as they do after every ball game, but this time it's broken up into applause from the stands or from the crowd sticking around behind the third base dugout. And Ryan, what a ball game! A very entertaining one tonight.
You know, there's a couple of people right now that are so excited, and one's Jackson Kofer. I mean, you look at that. He lasted 1/3 of an inning, has probably, I mean, I've only seen him pitch a couple of times, but maybe the worst outing of his baseball career. I mean, you know, just one of those nights where he just struggled. And maybe that's unfair of me to say, you know, but one of those nights where he's going to look back on these moments and go, okay, you know, when he comes out next time, it's going to be a chance to, you know, redeem himself. But he's excited about that after giving up the 4 runs. Okay, my performance tonight when I struggled didn't come back to hurt my team. And, you know, honestly, for Kyle Valgaardson, too, I feel really excited. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Oh, and Jordan, here's the other thing. He did that in 64 pitches.
Valgaardson was great.
He was great, and so it's great to see a guy like Kyle get that victory tonight after pitching so well. You want to award players for playing well, especially in big moments. Again, you know, we could talk about Andy Perkins as well, but I really like that at bat there by Jake Atkinson to get on base in that big situation. You know, Jake again tonight, you know, 1 for 3, but he, you know, had 2 walks as well. He got on base 3 times. You know, it's one thing to get on with a hit, but we forget oftentimes you get on via a walk, you're hit by a pitch.
Anything.
Sometimes that on-base percentage, I think, is a stat that's overlooked a lot in baseball, and so just a great opportunity tonight for Jake Atkinson, and really that 1-run ball game. One final point, and then I'll step off my soapbox, Jordan, but how big now does that catch that Cade Andrus made?
We talked, and you brought that up earlier in the ballgame in between innings, and you said just that. It's huge. Runner on third back in, as I look back to that inning, runner on third base, Cade Andrus makes a terrific play on a ball that was in the 6th inning, by the way, on a ball that was a low liner into left field near the line, coming over with a man on third, and with 2 outs, dove, made the catch, and that preserved the in the 6th inning, that preserved the tie at that time. They would have taken a lead, I believe.
Well, at least now the game would have been 7-7. But still, I mean, one of those big opportunities there where, you know, somebody steps up at the right time. And I think that's the great thing about Utah Valley tonight. You saw how many different 4 or 5 guys step up and say, okay, this is what we need to do to win this ball game. And you can see that's a great sign to carry over into tomorrow's game, a chance to go for the sweep, BYU on Tuesday, and then into what's going to be a big series with Sacramento State. I don't think these guys on the team last year heading into that Sacramento State series aren't going to be excited to say, hey, you ended our season last year, now we want to beat you. But Sacramento State, after dropping 2 games so far to that series in Seattle, they're going to come back extremely excited for that one as well.
That's true. And tomorrow, the UVU, as you mentioned, will go for the sweep, and you can't overlook Chicago State. They play their hearts out tonight. And this is a better Chicago State team than we've seen in years past, and it shows. Just a great game all around. Go ahead.
Well, it's a tough loss for Chicago State. You had so many things, 4 runs in the first, everything. You get a game last night where nothing went your way. You lose big time. You come back tonight, and everything goes your way in the first few innings. And then all of a sudden it's just 2 here, 3 here, 1 here, 2 here. And it's just one of those losses where sometimes you feel like, what else do we have to do to try to get on the positive side of one? And now they have to come back tomorrow, and they have to try to work through that, have a quick turnaround, which is the good thing. It's an 11 a.m. first pitch, so in about 13 hours.
Yeah.
So you have a quick turnaround back at the ballpark tomorrow morning, and just an opportunity to try to come out of Utah here with a victory. Utah Valley definitely wants that sweep. That could be a big propelling point in the season to make a good run at a WAC title.
Absolutely. The final totals tonight. Once again, we mentioned Kyle Valgartson gets the win. He improves to 1-2 on the season. Jerry Silva, he will take the loss, 1-3, and a tough loss for Silva. He pitched pretty well down the stretch there, but gave up a runner in the 9th, that base hit. And then Kostelek ended up giving the base hit that would win the ball game for UVU. The time of the ball game was 3 hours and 1 minute. Attendance 404 souls braved the cold to watch a highly entertaining and a walk-off win for the Wolverines. Utah Valley, 7 runs on 12 hits, no errors, and I think that's a big point of emphasis. 6 runs on 8 hits for Chicago State, but UVU has to be happy with this one, especially after dropping 2 of 3 in Seattle and coming back and here where they've already, again, like you said, won the series, and they can go for the sweep tomorrow. So our next broadcast, as you mentioned, Ryan, will come to you right here from Renton Ballpark tomorrow at 11 a.m., an early start. Don't forget. And come out to the ballpark. Plenty of good seats still available. I'm calling it brunch at the ballpark tomorrow. So
I'll jump on board.
Get on board with that. For my broadcast partner Ryan Pickens, I'm Jordan Bianucci saying so long tonight from Brent Brown Ballpark after a thriller. Utah Valley wins this in walk-off fashion. The final: UVU 7, Chicago State 6.